Hello and welcome back to another relaxing long play with me, Typical T. Today we're going to be diving right back into our Roman settlement, but this time we're going to be building some epic walls and doing something quite special with trees, so do stick around. Well, without further ado, why don't you grab yourselves a cup of tea and relax alongside me in Manor Lords. Let's get into it. We've got pretty far, we've built up to level 2 pretty much all the way around, and you can see we've actually run out of available living space. We've got a few more gaps here we can fill up, but really I think we ought to start thinking about level 3 and eventually importing ourselves some lovely stone from over the hill in Janu, with the aim of building up some lovely Roman walls and getting to that large town settlement level here in Shinford. So what are we going to do to make that happen? Well, we do actually have 196 ale stored up, and as you can see here, pretty much that is the only thing we are missing at these burgages to allow them to upgrade to the next level. We've got some available workers as well, so what I think we'll do is we'll go ahead and see if we can't activate a large tavern or two. Probably this one over here first. We've got a couple of workers in there, and we'll set an overstock, and that might also help happiness. We can get up to that magical +3 monthly migration, or at least stay at +2 monthly migration. That'd be great. Now, we've got a whole bunch of these here as well that we need to assign. Oh, look at that, already straight up to ready for level 3 already. My goodness. Not wasting any time whatsoever, these guys. Very well, we shall upgrade you and get you right on your way, dear sirs. Never fear. The Roman plebeian will be pleased, I'm sure, to be inhabiting a level 3 burgage plot. Now, I do feel, as much as I want to continue these upgrades, I'm going to unassign these large tavern workers because we really ought to have some people working these extensions. We rather neglected the upgrades, didn't we, to go to war. So, what shall we put in them? Well, in terms of resources, we're looking okay for vegetables. And we are looking for fruits, but there's going to be a lot more of those coming as these bear us more fruit, I suppose, would be the way to put it. And we can always upgrade them as well to small holdings later down the line, which of course is the plan once we have a denser population up here. Now, when it comes to other food types, we have a little bit of pork. We've not got loads of eggs or milk. So, you know, a little bit of everything might be a good idea. Perhaps some more chickens, etc. We don't have any access to salt here in Shenford. So where would be our nearest source? We could potentially import some if we settled here in Leadenfield. We'll consider that. So more pigs might not be a bad idea. Oh, look at that! With a large village already. Goodness, it's going very quickly. Right. Well, let's get on then, I suppose. So why don't we put in, start with a whole bunch of chickens then. We're looking okay on our finances here, despite me having drained a lot of the coffers to go to war. But the war is done now, although we do still need to obviously defend against any bandit attacks. Now, I did see actually that we did definitely weather one at some point, because the retinue is down to 20 from 24. So I'm assuming at some point they were attacked while I was off doing something else. Probably filming some B-roll for the last playthrough. Or indeed while we were at war. I may just not have noticed. It's more than possible. So we definitely lost a few chaps down there. But, no fear. They appear to have weathered the storm pretty well, and actually I think it's pretty impressive that when there were only 24, a single retinue, they were able to just shrug off with only 4 casualties, probably what was 4 units of brigands. So, you know, pretty good performance from the lads all round, I think. We should probably give them a bonus or something. Not. We'll give them their pay in salt. It's a Roman thing to do, isn't it? It'll give you some salt, which you can trade. If you work hard enough, I'll give you citizenship. It's worth a lot, you know. Just ask Paul. So we've got those chicken boys. There's a whole bunch of construction ongoing. And goodness, we've got the others down here. So how are we doing for malt? Because we do have extra capacity. It was 64 malt. So I'm going to set up a second one of these to be a malt boy, making out of planks. Good gracious me. Well, that's what happens when you do a whole bunch of upgrades. Let's go and visit the plank boy then. Let's give you a permanent livestock assignment for starters. And set you a much higher plank limit of 800, because we're going to need planks if we're going to be building some walls a little bit later on. Charcoal, I think we've more or less got on top of now. We did have a bit of a problem where there wasn't enough trees at one point, but you can see our foresters have been hard at work, and they've done a pretty good job of reforestation. Let's get a bit more in there, though, and see if we can't spread out the forested areas, now that we've got some trees planted to help us survive in the interim. See, I went quite ham on getting all these built. At one point we were very much struggling. I was trying to focus on the war, And yet I was very aware that we were running out of trees. Right, put that there. And put this one here. Good. Absolutely splendid stuff. And look, the harvest is on the way, so we'll have even more barley coming in. We ought to start baking some bread locally at some point as well. I mean, we've now got the level 3 burgages. So had we enough planky boys, we could potentially do some of that. But I think we're going to go into a little bit of production hibernation here, where we're really waiting for resources to come in the form of planks. So we might leave them to it now we're into September and go and check in on the other regions. So it occurs to me, we've not even glanced at the region we took. Boss Vice, how are we doing? Oh dear. We have no fuel and only 3 months of food. What do you reckon, everyone? Do we string them all up and put them on crosses and crucify them? Or do we try and integrate them into our society? Integrate them? Ugh. You're all so nice. Very well. Okay, so what is the situation here in Boss Vice? They have no food. That is definitely a situation. And they also have a very limited supply of charcoal, by which I mean they have none. So what we should probably do first is check their trade status, because quite often, don't really want that there, do we? Goodness. Quite often they are trading away precious resources. Good sirs, where have you located your trading post? If someone could point me the way to the trading post, sirs, thank you. Right, trade. You're exporting rubble stone. Fine. You are not exporting water, but you have a lot of it. I think we should probably set an export on that. For anything over, say, 500 would seem reasonable. And you are exporting dress stone. I'm going to stop that. Goodness, you've got 12k. Because you don't... I don't want to... yeah, we'll leave it as that. We don't want to hurt our export market. Are you selling anything else? You're not selling charcoal. Okay. Now, we can probably get some charcoal pretty quickly, which is the main concern. So, what are we doing here? You have trade routes, but you're not actually doing anything with them, so that's fine. I think we need to buy in some food. I'm not going to bother buying it in from our own regions, because we need their food as well for themselves. But we've got enough money here that we can afford to just import a whole bunch of stuff off the open market. So we'll set an import and desired surplus of 300 carrots. And hopefully they'll get right to it. They have 4 horses, they have 4 people. So we'll let them do that. And did I see there was no one working at the charcoal kiln? There is not. I'm actually going to demolish it. And we're going to build it over here along with a couple of woodcutters' lodges. Oh dear. I heard the naughty noise. And the reason I'm doing that is so that they're a little closer to the forest, which I suspect may be the problem with their current woodcutters' lodges. Indeed, what's that? Oh, goodness. They've got no planks. So yeah, their existing woodcutters' lodges over here, so we'll get rid of that one. Free up those workers. We've got a family working at the saw pit. I don't know why they wouldn't have anyone doing that. Is there anyone working at a logging camp, for that matter? Gosh, they really were in a state over here, weren't they? I didn't see any logging camps. Well, this would seem a good location for a logging camp. So why don't we get a road coming across here. And we'll get a couple of logging camps along here. And we'll go 1 and 2. Lovely stuff. Dear. And we should pick you a perk, shouldn't we? What do you have? We've got strong iron, strong stone. I mean, we have our own source of iron here, which we've not really exploited at all, to be fair. There's no rush. We'll leave it. Right, where have these bandits come from? They are... oh dear. Down at the bottom of Chanyu. Right, well, the Chanyu retinue is not really up to it. They've only got 5 lads. We're not really spending our money on anything else at the moment, so why don't we go ahead and spend a lot of it on hiring some men-at-arms, and we'll upgrade them as well. Now, we probably will rally the Shinfoot retinue. What retinue? What are they called? I've forgotten what they're called. Can everyone remind me? 3, 2, 1. Militia! Thank you. Militia. Yes, we might rally the militia to come and help as well, but it may well be the retinue is able to deal with them on their lonesome. Or at least they'll be able to delay them until the militia can come to aid. Right. Deploy the men. And we will also deploy our 3 units of spear from the neighbouring region. And we'll set ourselves up here to defend. We'll double our defense. And we'll take a long stance here. And we'll keep our reinforcements marching towards. It looks like we've engaged. So far, so good. Keep marching our troops in. I think maybe we should try and kite them towards our troops. Yes. Right, we'll bring them into our lines. There we go. And we'll push our troops in to assist. And hopefully, with all those additional bodies, we should have no problem in destroying the enemy units. And there we have it. And it doesn't look like we've lost a single man. We'll make Roman soldiers of you yet, sirs. Good stuff. Right, well, having a local retinue has certainly saved our bacon there. So we'll get these men back across the border and then we'll send them back to their jobs, of which there is plenty to be doing here. How are we doing for planks? Getting some more put together, but I wouldn't say we've got an excessive number, that's for sure. Okay, back over in Bosvice. Yes, we need to get on, don't we? So, we need to get people working at the woodcutters' lodges. We've got lots of people free, so we will assign lots of people. And we need to get the charcoal kiln complete as well, so we can assign a whole bunch of bodies there. Good. And I'm hopeful that those on their own there will be more than enough to cope with the problem they've been having. Get down a forester's hut there, so we can plant some trees as well, for those that we are knocking down. Gosh, they've got a stone church. How advanced of them. So advanced, and yet they have nothing. Nothing resembling a cohesive and functioning system. They only got 3 oxes. Good gravy. No wonder they were struggling to do anything. Right, we're going to have to remedy that situation. Do they have a livestock trading post, we reckon? What do you think the chances of that are? I think the chances are reasonably high, but I also think that it is a thatched roof building that I will not be able to spot, even if it is here. Yes. In my weakness, this does lie. Finding things. Okay, well, maybe we'll just have to build one. Because I don't want to be coming over here and constantly clicking order an ox. So we'll do that for the first time, just to get things going. But after that, we really ought to be using a livestock trading post. So we'll get one of those down. We'll just put it down there, for example, for the time being. I feel this road should link in around the back here. Bring some Roman civilization to this uncivilized Germanic rabble over here. Okay. Food is up to 4 months. I imagine we've started importing some of those carrots. Of course, going to need to make some food domestically as well. They have some vegetable plots, but not a lot by any stretch of the imagination. Got some properties down here that don't have anything assigned, so why don't we go ahead and get some chickens in here as a quick win. But again, just really shy on these planks at the moment. We should have firewood coming in at a rate of knots, to be honest. How are we doing for market stall supply in here, though? That's something I've not checked here at all. There we go. The storehouses are fine. The granary is very pushed. It's just one granary. No wonder they're struggling. The food. Let's get another granary down. We'll pop that one down there. Might get another one down here somewhere as well. Come on. Bring in that firewood. Bring it in. A little storehouse here as well. Hopefully, before winter comes, we're well on our way to saving the good people of Bosvice. I say good people. We slaughtered a lot of their good people. But, you know, they shouldn't have defied us, should they? Realistically. Up to 115 planks here now. Let's go ahead and buy in a selection of pigs and goats in these here burgages. So a whole bunch of piggies for you there. And we'll also action those upgrades as and where they are able to be actioned. Right, a couple of goats in there. Oops, accidentally clicked the additional space. Well, you know what, that's not a problem. they can have a bit of additional space. On me, no worries. You're most welcome, dear sets. Right, got some goats in those. I think that's everyone animal-wise purchased for. So I wouldn't really care to get a few taverns running again. See if we can't get some more upgrades done. Let's just double check on Janu. You have 69 months of fuel. My good gravy. That's a lot of fuel. Probably a lot more than we need. But they're quite happy here and things seem to be going well, so we'll leave them to it. We've never really fully developed villages, but they seem to be okay for food and fuel. Having said that, we do have a bit of money here. So we might as well go ahead and get some lovely bucks. Maybe in addition to our lovely bucks, we can get a few piggies and goats. Make use of these other burgages which we have placed. Ooh, and we'll plant some players. We'll plant some players over there. English is a strong suit for me today. Well, it's no surprise really, is it? I am playing as a Roman. So Typicalius obviously can't spell. Right. Any firewood? Yes. So fuel is ticking up. We have a little bit of food as well. And hopefully, as planks start to trickle in, I suspect the issue is having a lovely... I'll tell you what, we'll just quickly look down here while I'm seeing it and build ourselves a market stall and get some families working at that granary. Yes, I don't have enough oxen, so order another ox quickly, and we're going to go to the lovely Sorbet. We're going to give them a permanent livestock assignment, because I think the lack of oxen here is what's hampering our production of plankages. Where did we put our livestock traders? Here we go. Ooh, a small town. Such excitement grows. Let's order ourselves in, what do we want to say, 20 oxen. And to support that, let's make sure we've got plenty of hitching posts popped around that we can upgrade later to be stables, just so we don't run out. Okay. Lovely stuff. Ooh, quite a lot of upgrades to be done here. Actually, we'll have to come back to that for sure. For sure, we'll have to come back to that. And look at that, we are well into upgrade territory ourselves here in Schönfurt with our level 3 burgages. I'm so glad we come back to the Roman city here, Roman town at the moment, but soon to be a Roman city, because I think when the walls are up, it's going to look pretty mighty cool. I suppose we'll have to get a standing army together just to man the walls, won't we, for the final shots as we walk through the city and give it a good old look around. I can't wait for that. Alrighty then. I think I'm going to make a lovely cup of tea. Then we'll come back to this the other side of winter. Toodle pip, y'all. Well, the winter thaw is upon us, and I've just gone through and set our import rules down at the lovely here trading post to allow us to import a little bit of dressed stone, etc. from our local neighbours. And hopefully it's going to let us upgrade even more. To get even more of these up to level 3. How are we doing on the old ale brew? We're a little low on ale, so we'll unassign those workers for the time being. I've also gone through and added some additional families to the granaries and storehouses, which has made some, if not a massive difference. We are going to go through and apply some additional workers to some of the new granaries and storehouses that we have. We just as well set this up for the usual restrictions, actually. Get 3 families there as well. Upgrade that. Lovely stuff. Now, we are going to need some lovely... I'm saying lovely a lot today, aren't I? All that to say, we're going to need some clay. There's some clay here. And there's some salt as well. So I wonder if it might be worth us settling here. So what we'll do is we'll party on down here. We'll pause the game. And let's get ourselves a lovely little settlers camp. We'll go nice and close to this starting food. More will we? Do we go right at the bang in the middle? Yeah, go on then. We can always import food. We'll go for a plentiful start. And we'll put a little crossroad there. And let's build as close as we can. So, as I've done in the past, we're going to go for some dwellings first. Maybe let's plan out a little road network. So, I think what we're going to want to do is have easy access to both sides here, because obviously this one is going to be for our salt and for our wild animals and our berries. So let's take a road that kind of meanders its way through those objectives, like so. And then we'll come off from a similar point on this side and meander our way through to the clay. Meander, what a word, by the way. What a word. And then let's then kind of a road that comes back in like that there. Maybe not quite like that. More like that, maybe. And we'll do the same on this side. Okay. And those there. And yeah, weird shape. Kind of dig it. Not gonna lie. So we'll get some burgages down to start with. And maybe we'll just fill out some of this little space here. Or do we keep? No, we keep that for market stalls, etc. Let's do the sides. So I think we'll go for a couple small, a couple of big, like we have elsewhere on this playthrough, using the good old technique that I've developed since some time now, where we do a couple of small ones, and then we take one and put a field around the back of it, a little bit like that there. And then we'll go for two here as well. Let's turn off snapping so we can get that set nicely into the corner there. Come out the back here. Build those, and then come across once again with a larger rear expanse of garden. Rear expanse, you say? Yes, rear expanse. And we'll just fill out like that, being totally lackadaisical of the resources we have available to us. Okay, whoa. Steady on, governor. Right, let's get that down there, good and proper. Let's get ourselves another hitching post, and we'll put that one right there, and order ourselves up another oxen. Goodness, accents are all over the place today. Well, you know, Rome was a big empire. They had all sorts, didn't they? Australians, Middlesbrough. Don't know. Oh dear. Typical's lost the plot. Everybody knew it was coming. Everybody knew. And then we'll build ourselves a granary and storehouse here, nice and local, right? So where we have resources up to start. Let's see if we can't get some market stalls in between y'all. Yep, lovely, playing nicely. Oh, isn't it lovely? Lovely stuff. Right, well, we've got those there. Where should we get some water from? Let's get some water from there. And that leaves us just enough resources to allow us to get ourselves a lovely little logging camp. And I think we'll just sequester that one on the outskirts just there. Let's set priorities. No, let's not. Let's just go for it. Boom! Everyone to work. There's plenty to be done, and I suggest that you see to it. Hitching posts first. Good idea, so we don't have any oxen running away. And hopefully before too long we'll be exporting some lovely clay and some salt perhaps to the capital. The Roman outpost, which is ever growing, and hopefully will reach towards level 4. Now, we could probably do with some additional fields being active, couldn't we? We have some additional people. So let's assign another 2 families to each of our farms here. We may need to actually add some more farms. No, let's do that instead. It's more efficient that way, isn't it? There's only so many plows per farm, right? Where are we going to put these additional farms then? Well, I think again on the outskirts. So maybe down here would be a good place to have them. So, boop, boop, boop. I think 3 should be plenty for this locale. How did I do the stables last time? I did them kind of at either end, didn't I? If we continue that road across here, and we put, so much zooming. And we put those there, and maybe one more just behind. Let's build the road first, actually, so we can get that sat just right, like. And we'll put that one down just there. Okay, splendid. So we get those built, and tell you what, let's just do it, shall we? And let's get some crop rotation. So we'll go for wheat. This game, wheat, barley, and flax is the rotation we've been headed for, isn't it? I think that's been working. You know, fertility-wise. Hard to know. Some people say that you can't do all 3, and eventually you'll lose fertility. Let me know in the comments below. Is this an issue, or does it just work itself out? So we'll go wheat, barley, Oh, good heavens, pressing the wrong button all the time. And flaxation. And then wheat, barley, and flaxation. If I can... Oh my goodness. I can't click the buttons this evening. I'm so sorry, everyone. Wheat, barley, and flax. And then, of course, we'll need to get a few more fields put down somewhere as well. My goodness. Good grief, typical. Put yourself together, man. Wheat, barley, flax. Very simple, very simple. Tiny little field here. We'll get this one on as well. Okay. And then they can be doing that in the interim. We can expand farms out essentially this way below where we have the forestry area. Maybe even onto this side. We could reach up here where we have the sheep, do a bit there, la-di-da, all the way around, although most of the space is definitely below. But we want to have lots and lots of ale, so the more barley the better. You see oxen are well on their way to help with construction and also to plough the field, so that's all good news. And the new region, Ledenfield, how are we doing? Well, they're certainly putting houses together at a good rate, and there we have it. We've upgraded already. Now, we're going to have a couple of different mines here. So is it worth getting the mining perk? Increase export price on minor trades. Meh. And how about efficient handicaps wouldn't be bad. Improved mine integrity, mining import discounts. Improved armors. Don't really benefit from a lot of that. Okay, well, in that case, we just as well go for increased capacity for forage goods and the hunting hound. As boring as it is. Where's it gone? Hello? Because we do have those as two sources of food here. So additional food from those would not be a bad thing by any measure. We're finally getting on with the granary in the storehouse, which is good because we need to get our supplies safely stored away. Come on, everyone, get to work. We need to have those things put together sharpish. We'll set the priority there a little higher so they definitely get on with it. And then we'll see about getting a few people working there. As indeed, it would be good to get a few people working at the logging camp once that is too operational. Okay, get just one family in there. Without a market stall for the minute, we just want to bring the goods safely inside. How are we getting on with those new farms? Good, they're being constructed. Let's make sure we have some plows assigned to those. And we'll need to get some oxen permanently assigned there as well. Very good. Typicalius is such a good ruler, if I do say so myself. Conquered all of his foes, keeps his people safe, and is building what hopefully promises to be a rather beautiful city. Tempting to order another one of the bad boys, but we're going to not do so. How are we doing? We've got 3 timber left, so we can choose to construct something. And I think we ought to choose to construct ourselves a lovely little sword, which can complement our logging camp. So we'll put that there. Let's get a couple of families working on the logging industry, so we can start to do that. Hunting camp will also would be a good notion. Where would we put that? Perhaps just here wouldn't be a terrible locale. And we'll put a little curved road in here to make access back to the main settlement even easier. It's a little way for the granary labourers to walk, but at least the hunters won't have to go so far to actually do the hunting. How are we doing then? So we appear to have brought most of our supplies inside, bar proof firewood, and that reminds me, we're going to want a woodcutter's lodge. So we just as well get that down near what has apparently become a little agricultural or industrial row. And to that end, we'll also get down a forester's hut, ready for when we want to do a bit of reforestation. There's space for people to be moving in. Nobody is cold, nobody is worried, and perhaps they should be, because my goodness, their supplies are not going to last forever. That's okay, because we can get someone working at the hunting camp, and we're also going to get that hunting camp hound upgrade done as well. Let us see about a trading post just as soon as we have the resources. So I'm going to leave them to it, and actually, you know what? I'm going to let them have some market stalls right from the get-go. Just nice like that. So we'll let them do that, and let's just leave them to it for a second, shall we? Over in the useless region of Winnets, let's just check we're okay for food and fuel. We appear fine, so we'll leave them to it. One day we may get into that iron, but we don't really need it for anything at the moment. Over in Shinford, we are starting to import a little bit of dressed stone. In fact, ought we to upgrade the church? What are we lacking? Ah, just a few clay roof tiles, because we buried our own clay, didn't we? Yes, under a field. We were so unconcerned with it. We just did that. That's fine. Let's get ourselves some workers at these new farms. Alrighty. We're probably coming up to needing to do a great reassigning at some point as well. 29 ale, 2 malt, no barley. So we could definitely do with a good barley harvest this year. Yeah, bringing in about 140 or so. And it'll be even more once we have the new fields up and running. Well, we have 13 available living spaces. We're just about on the 80% on approval. So people seem reasonably happy. And again, it's just the beverages that we are lacking. It is very tempting to get in there and do that reassigning. But the longer we can hold off, the less I will have to do it. Because I will have to do it occasionally, repeatedly. So, how are we doing on the market stalls? I imagine we're pretty stretched. Granaries, yeah, looking pretty stretched. We did manage to squeeze in a few additional granaries down here next to the church, so I am going to activate one of those in its entirety to see if we can't alleviate some of that strain, which appears to have made at least a small difference. And then we may need a few additional granaries and storehouses, even more than I've already built on the outer ring. And wherever we put these, we can't build any properties. Or at least we can't build as many. But, you know what? They're going to be needed. And if something's needed, it's never wasteful. There you are, some lovely advice from Sir Typicalius. Typicalia. Why isn't this called Typicalia? My goodness. Sorry, Shinfoot. Typicalia. Named after my good true self. We could add some new burgages, couldn't we? Yes. Yes, we could. Should we fill out some of these spots next to where we've got some granaries and storehouses going? We might as well put some market stall space in there. We are going to need that after all. But over here, we could get down a little burgage. Just a little bit of light burgaging. You know what it's like? Just up late at night and you're like, you know what? Do with a little bit of light burgaging. You just go and do it. Right? No, just me? Okay, wish I hadn't said it now. It's kind of weird. Burgage. It's a funny word. And now I've completely lost the plot. We'll just crack on, really. I mean, there's nothing else for it, is there? I mean, just can't stop now. It's a song that came to my head then, and I'm not going to sing it. But points make prizes if you can guess below what it was. If only. Right. Build those there. Put a property in here. Splendid. We never really did start using the second trading post there, but it's on the cards if we do indeed need it. Looks like we are still okay for food. I'm surprised we're not better for fruits than we are, because we have got what I feel is quite a significant amount of space dedicated to the growing of fruits, although I suppose some of the orchards are still quite young. Should we clear the concourses of trees? I mean, we don't really have that many here and here. You can hear people upset already. Fine, fine, they stay for now. We may even plant some more trees in there using the lovely little plant boys. That's your name, plant boy. How small can the circle go? Ooh, can go smaller. We could literally replant them. Interesting. We'll keep that in mind for sure. Oh, we should go and check on the new region. Indeed. Right. Well, on the face of it, things seem to be going okay. We've got plenty of timber. Let's get someone working at the saw pit. And we'll set them a limit where we don't want to go below 12 logs. And we could use about 50 planks at any given time. We're going to need to get a family working at the woodcutter's lodge. In terms of construction, a charcoal kiln would not go amiss. So we'll put one of those in just there for the time being. Let's get some vegetable plots built then, now that we're starting to produce some planks. We'll do that in those 3 there. And we should have the resources to plant a few of those up as well. Another building we were looking to construct was, of course, our trading post. Where do we want to put this? Somewhere up here might make sense. Is there space in this little gap here? Nope, that's fine. We'll put it on this side then instead. And this looks a good place to have plenty more hitching posts. We'll get a couple more of those down. Let's then look at the cost. So 36. Okay, we might just go beat heavy. Should leave just enough money to buy ourselves a trade route, although I may have cut that a little bit fine. We'll have to wait and see as the trading post pops into existence. I think it's one of the prettiest buildings in the game when it comes to construction, actually, the trading post. Don't know why. Maybe it's the two different shades of timber I find particularly appealing. Anyway, you done yet? Lovely. We may have to buy a different trade route than I normally would. What are we going to make here? Well, this is primarily clay and salt, isn't it? Are either of those major trades? Or can we get away with those? Be crafting materials. We can sell clay. I'm actually going to select that as our first trade. It does mean we need to get on and build ourselves a mining pit sooner rather than later. But I don't think that's any great cost. I think that should be okay. We'll be able to afford to send someone to work there. We may need to get an additional family moved in soon. Well, we'll start with the one there. And let's look to build a little bit more accommodation. And we'll pretty much mimic what we've done on this side of things. So we'll go for a couple of mortgages. Like that. And then we'll do a wraparound mortgage. A couple of small ones. Ooh, not quite big enough there. Let's go a little bit further. Okay, then a big mortgage. And then maybe one little one here. Ooh, that is an interesting shaped burgage. I've never seen anything like it. Oh no, come back to me, come back to me. I liked you. Oh, come on. I'm sure we can get it again. How do we do it? No. I should not have unclicked. Come on. I believe. I don't believe. Okay, I guess we're doing that. Never mind. Oh, that could have been really cool. Oh well. Let's move on. Right, so we'll build those there. There's some additional accommodation. And hopefully our beats over here will be able to sustain us. Let's build in a couple of animal pens ready as well. When we can afford to do things like order them. Okay. And then maybe we'll do some chickens or something on this side when it comes time. These are also going to be for vegetables. Don't need to do any fancy foods here, such as fruits. No, some good old boiled vegetables. We'll do these laddies absolutely fine. We've got an additional family who's not up to a lot. How are we doing on the wild animals? We can probably afford to get another family working here. Given they're so far away as well, efficiency is a little bit low. Would be nice to build a foraging hut ready for when we are ready to start foraging. Again, we'll put this out on the road towards where the goods themselves are located. And just as soon as this burgage is complete, we'll get their extension popped on, ready for when we can afford to buy them some veggies. We may have to import a little bit of food here, just to survive the winter, although we should have a fair number of cabbages. Not cabbages? Beetroots coming up in the first year, but we're also going to have a lot of people. A lot more people than I normally would do. Did we build ourselves a lovely set of mule boys here? I can't remember if we did or not in order to supply another region. We did. Okay, so we have got pack stations ready should aid be needed. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on the situation, as it were, and we will monitor it, keep our finger on the pulse, all that good stuff. We're not going to get any berries this year, that's for sure. So we'll just have to rely on the wild animals, I suppose. And also our beets, which we are indeed still planting. Well, 4 months, September, October, November, December. It might just see us through, you know. Might just see us through with the addition of the wild animals. Right. Goodness, we've got a lot of clothes here. We could probably start to consider selling those. And indeed, we are a little bit down on funds, probably from science to buying quite so much stone from our neighbouring regions. So let's go to commodities, and we're going to go to export, not import. buy a trade route and say we only need about 500. Anything over that we can sell. Now, are we making leather? We are indeed making leather. And with one of our level 3 burgages, we should definitely start making some shoes. Did we ever get these at level 3? Where were we going to? We didn't dedicate anyone. Yeah. Where's all the... Yeah, I think anyone can be a baker. Okay. Let deliberation aside. Let's just get a couple of bakeries in as well. So we can make some more efficient bread than we do currently at our communal oven. So we'll actually unassign those workers and destroy the communal oven. And instead we can use our own homegrown people to do the job. Still got 15 available spots for people to live here through all the level 3 upgrades we've done. And hopefully with a bit more ale coming onto the market, that should increase as well. And it is that time of year where we're bringing in some barley, 215 of the stuff, so malt will be produced, and hopefully a decent amount of ale in turn, especially with our additional fields that we now have operational. That's 2 bakeries, so we'll set one up to make wheat bread. Actually, we'll do both to do wheat bread, because we're not doing any rye farming, are we? So what would be the point? That's going to make even more bread, so it's going to be quite a lot more efficient than it was previously. So that could become one of our major food sources, for all I know. We can but hope. We can but hope. I'm not sure there's a lot else we need to be doing here at the moment, other than perhaps putting on some rear extensions down here. What do we put? Maybe let's have some little orchards. Let's have some micro orchards in these bags we've just popped down that surround a couple of the granaries and storehouses. Big concern about the market stall situation, but maybe after a big reassigning, there's a chance that could fix itself. It often does, to be honest, and I'm really happy with how Typicalia is coming on in terms of appearances. It's not changed massively since we left the map previously, but my goodness, by the end of the playthrough, I'm really hoping this is something quite special. Right, typical, stop getting lost in your own fancies and make sure you're actually governing the other regions. Well, they're certainly fine there. We're still kind of hovering around the 4 months here, and I guess that's because of all the small game, yeah, that's coming in. Actually, we are subsisting off a small game. We've completely gone through our starting wheat bread, and we've got a few beetroots as well, which means that we're starting to bring them from the fields here, from our gardens. So I think it's all going rather swimmingly. We've got a few unassigned families, so let's go ahead and get a couple of families working at the mining pits. We can start to bring in that oh so important clay we're going to need for our exports. We've already got someone working at the storehouse, but we do need to upgrade that to a large one though, because otherwise we're not going to be doing an awful lot. Goodness, it's 70% approval, that's good, isn't it? And we could do with a family working at the charcoal kiln, so we can make some more efficient fuel for the winter. Maybe we'll put down our first orchard just there, and I wouldn't mind using a spare worker to get trading. So as soon as we have that clay coming in, it can start to be exported. Then maybe once we have a bit of money lying in the coffers, we can perhaps consider getting ourselves a lovely horse. Well, Liedenfield has certainly had a good start. How are we doing in boss fights these days? Been a while since I checked in. Well, I appear to have solved the fuel problem at the very least. We could probably actually reduce the number of woodcutters we have operational. We'll get someone working at that storehouse. My goodness, you're not going to work all the way over there. We'll put down a local place for you to work. This little gap here will do. If we get round to it, there's a lot of upgrades to be had. Not that I know that we need to really upgrade this place. I mean, they're surviving, and as far as I'm concerned, that is a sign of good governance. They're a little short on food, though. I do believe, yes, a couple of these properties here didn't have extensions built, so I have built them with some lovely vegetable gardens. Also put in some chickens and other animals in the hopes that I could produce a little bit more food domestically for them. And it looks okay for the minute, so I will pretty much just leave them to it and only come back if I really need to. Winnets, again, you seem mostly fine. If we really need to get more charcoal, then we'll be able to. Maybe could do with a third worker at the charcoal kiln, although is your issue storage? Yes, it is. Let's upgrade that to a large storehouse. My goodness, you could do with a few extra people working here. Right, let's get a second and third family at the granary. And Obviously not touched this since the very start, and just as soon as we can finish construction of the storehouse, get ourselves another family working there, and that seems to have pretty much taken care of those issues. Leads us back to Typicalia, and after all roads lead to Typicalia. Are we producing flour quickly from our grain? Still a lot of wheat sheaves. Are we still into planting? We are. Well, as the population grows, we'll have more people available to work on the farms. We are running out of pasture space. Okay, let's add another pasture then. So farming, pasture, and let's put in another 100 strong pasture just here. 94 will do. Get that one down. And I believe we have 3 families working at the sheep farm. No, just 2, so we'll assign a third there. Though I do think we have a massive surplus of wool. We do 1.1k. I've got another couple of families working at the additional weaver's workshop. So we should probably start to sell any excess at some point, to be honest. Finally got a decent number of fruits. And this year, only 23 bread so far. Where is the limit for us? It really is turning wheat sheaves into flour, I guess. Maybe we didn't have as much wheat as I thought we did. That would be something to perhaps consider expanding in the future. How are we doing for stone? 316, 500 mortar. No roof tiles, right? Yes, that's what Leidenfield is for, isn't it? So we're going to produce all of our lovely clay and our roof tiles. Have we brought in much clay? 32 of the stuff. Not sold any yet. But our food situation seems to be absolutely fine. Let's get another couple of families then, shall we, working at the trading post to see if we can't force the hand to allow us to have a little bit of income. And I'm tempted to plan out some more fields in Typicalius. If the winter settles in, I think once again we'll hibernate and consider and ruminate on the decisions required for next spring. The thaw then is upon us, and as we head into March, I'm thinking we ought to do a little expansion out this way. So our city is quite heavily positioned up at the top, which I think is fine. It works really nicely with the King's Roads, etc. Well, I suppose we should call them Caesar's Roads, really, shouldn't we? Anyway, what I'm thinking is, down here, perhaps we ought to expand some into this space. Put a few burgages down, granary, storehouse, and potentially make ourselves a little farming community that will allow us to spread out further in this direction here, with farms matching what we've got on this side. That is going to mean moving the forestry sector further out to the outer rim, so potentially we could do some of that in here as well. So the first thing I'm going to do to accomplish this is we're going to go down here and we're going to see about relocating our foresters' work areas all the way over here. Now that's going to give them quite a long way to walk, but at least it means they're doing something useful in the time being, rather than planting up trees somewhere we are pretty soon going to start deforesting for the use of farmland. So 2 foresters huts there. We've done. Are there any more in here? Got those 2, haven't I? That's a forager. What about a forester? Ah, yes, forager. It's something I didn't think about. Wild animals are there. That's fine. I mean, we can move them slightly further off to the edge. We could even... Oh, do we... decisions. I suppose one option would be that we could forest here and farm down here. Might be easier to farm further away than it is to forest further away. Alright, change my mind already. That's what we'll do. In that case, so we don't have to micromanage this quite so much, I am just going to set these foresters to a larger work area. That's going to mean they're not quite as efficient, but hopefully with the number of trees that are already planted, they'll be able to keep up with the current demands of the timber industry. And then we've obviously still got these foresters here working along this edge, and the forests here are looking pretty plump, so that's obviously gone pretty well. Now, obviously, you probably wouldn't have a forest quite so close to the edge of the walls, so we may have to reconsider that later, but for the time being, it's doing a good job of providing us plenty of lumber for our charcoal industry. So with just 5 burgages left for people to move into, let's start planning down here. So of course we're going to put in a little love path switchback just here. And then I suppose continuing this road across here would seem to make the most sense to me. And that's going to give us this little area here with which we can work within. So first things first, let's see about getting down a couple of farms. So I think we'll position these on this side here, basically. Just along this road here, I think. Basically where we've got the other ones already. So we have 1, 2, and look at that, 3 fit there absolutely beautifully. And then we'll put in a road, I think, immediately behind those, just like so. And we'll get some lovely houses in there, shall we? So I don't think these need to be producing us any vegetables or anything else like that. They just need to be here to provide a labour workforce. So not overly fussed about having vegetables, etc. Get on with it, typical, for goodness sake. So in that case, we just want to go as dense as we can. And believe me, when typical tea is involved, denser tiers are short. If you catch my drift. Anyway, we'll go ahead and... Do we do that? Do we double up? Oh, I accidentally clicked build, so we're going with that. That's basically what's happened there. Let's just move swiftly on. We'll put a little kink in the road there because I think that's nice. Granary and storehouse then will be paramount. So we'll get granary there. We'll have storehouse next door. And then perhaps some sort of market stall area. A little bit like that there. Could we get a well in here somewhere? Oh well, oh well, oh well. Just pop that down there. Then in terms of... What else do we need? What else do we need? We need stables. Of course we do. So we'll need enough for the new farms. So that's going to be 3. We might put down 4. Because I have the power. And nobody has yet to take it away from me. Let's get some plows ordered up for our lovely farmhouses here as well. Oh, and look at that. Are we nearly there for the harvest? Nope, 137 days, what am I talking about? But doesn't it look pretty? Oh, yes. I love the blue fields. I don't know what you guys think, but that's gorgeous. I mean, I see a thumbnail in here somewhere. The gate to the city just there. The blue fields of flax. Oh, yes. I can't wait to see what it looks like. Jolly good stuff. Well, I'm quite happy with how that's all progressing. Let's see about getting ourselves a limited construction pallet here in our storehouse before we upgrade it. And then we might even build 2 granaries because times, they are tough. And granaries, they help the times be not tough, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Who knows? And food-wise, got probably a bit of pork, not loads of eggs or milk, so why don't we go for a nice low maintenance chicken here in these burgage plots. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5, 7, 8, 9, 11. Lovely. So I'm sure that won't annoy any of you at all. We'll go ahead and I guess we'll allow crafting materials here because it is nice and close to where we have some farms, so it can all be moved across nice and efficiently. We should probably go and check in our new region, Leidenfield, shouldn't we? So 4 months of supplies, food only at 4 months, and we should get... Should we get a worker here? Don't have a spare worker at the moment. We could probably do this with additional dwelling space. And look at that, we've got 310 coinage. So let's go ahead and buy some veggies. We also need to get some... Why don't we get some quinces for in there? We'll upgrade a few of these to stables and order ourselves another ox for good measure. We've also got money to buy in some pigs and goats. And I've used up all the money, so I'll have to wait for our exports again. Really should have bought a horse, shouldn't I? Oh well. But we'll leave them to do that. And now we've got those additional foods planted, I think we can safely go ahead and add a few more burgages. So I think maybe we'll just continue on as we have. And we'll come across the other side of the triangle we've not done anything on just yet. And build in a couple dwellings here. Quite like how that's filling out. Just, yeah, do a little something like that. Oh, thank you, game, for saving. That's so thoughtful of you. Thank you. Thank you. And then we'll get 2 more just here. You know what would be great? Write this down. Write this down. You know what would be great? I think it would be great if, like in Ostriv, yes, he's talking about Ostriv again. Give me a chance, please. I think, wouldn't it be great if you could set the area for your burgage, and then you could manually position, yes, manually position the buildings within. That would be fantastic. If you don't know what that looks like, go and play Ostriv, and then come back and watch Typical. And you know what, actually, play Ostriv in the background while I play this game. Yes, that's next level gaming, watching gaming and playing gaming. Do many of you do that at the same time? Let me know. I certainly wouldn't be able to do more than one thing at once. I struggle enough with talking and playing. Oh, dear. Splendid. So we've managed to construct a storehouse, but we've not been quite successful with granaries. Don't know why, given that we've got 15 unassigned families and a whole bunch of chickens ready to be looked after. We'll order ourselves an ox, then upgrade the rest of these here to hitching posts. That granary is coming together. The well has been placed. We'll upgrade that to a larger water source, just to be on the safe side. And perhaps, do we have enough people taking care of the mushrooms? Maybe we should assign another family to the forager's hut for good measure. Let's start thinking about some more fields then. So I'm guessing we want to have a similar grid setup to what we've done previously. Do we just carry that on through here, or do we stagger it in a different direction? I think it would look cool if we staggered it in a different direction, so maybe have them long ways down. Let's remind myself, just quickly, how I set these out. So, a residential, our oh-so-favourite corpse bit, was it? 1, 2, I think it's 3 by 2, isn't it? And how can we reference off this grid to make it the same? I don't know if we can. I mean, this one I know doesn't match. Well, I suppose the important thing is that it comes off this line here, doesn't it? Now, unfortunately, that is where I put all of our windmills. So, do we maintain them? I think we're going to have to move them. Okay, we're going to demolish these. Just temp demolish. Have we actually made our way through all of the grain? Nearly have. And actually, it might make more sense to have some of the families that live here working at them. So, since some of these resources are clear out the way, in fact, these ones aren't in the way, we can use this parallel road here, this road, to plan out the next step. It's a little bit, doesn't want to do it, does it? Are you a bit kicky, road? Yeah, it kind of does kink a little bit there, doesn't it? Botherations. Well, we're going to have to come off one of these roads. Oh, we could just come off this one, couldn't we? That would make lots more sense. Okay. So, let's just line that up. Lovely. We'll go to there, and we'll use that as the basis for a lovely bit of arranging. So we'll pause the game, and let's get typical. So, we'll put one... Oh, did I do these? Making a mental note of where... you can't see, but my finger is on the screen. No, I did overlap the... I don't know why I thought the noise was necessary there. I did overlap the entrance points. So, I'll pop these down a little something like that there. Grand. And let's just whip out... I'm just going to whip it out. Good grief. That wasn't straight. We're just going to fill in the roads around these here corpse bits that we're using to measure. And once we've done that, we'll have a feel for how it's all going to work and all that good shenanigan. Okay, so that's going to be our first one, and we'll continue in that pattern. And basically, we'll fill up pretty much this whole space here, maybe even all the way down to the King's Road down here. And that's going to make a pretty big mega farm area, and then we'll have in this area our forestry sector. So all farm here, all forestry here. It might extend some farms up this side. Obviously, we have got some sheep pastures in here already. And we could get some farms up here, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. That can be clear land. So this is going to be doubling the farm area we have. And that's going to be about it for farm expansion, to be honest. We're not going to be able to fit much more than that in. If we need more barley, which I don't think we're going to get to accomplish our goals, then we might need to do some farming up here in Winnits and export it down. We'll see how we get on down here, though. Right, tell you what. Leave me to it. I'm going to build out some roads, and I'll see you in a jiffy. I might even do a little time lapse. How about that? How about them apples, my friends? Yes. We have it then, well into June, but we have our new grid nicely set out there. I don't know if it's perfect to the other one, but I don't mind it. I quite like that it's different. But then again, I would say that, wouldn't I? Oh, look, people are starting to move in over here. Well, I think we probably ought to assign you to a granary, hadn't we? And I suppose we could upgrade you, although you appear to have run out of the things you need. You will. Right, so let's get down some more fields then. We go to the old fielding tool, turn on the old snapinator, And just generally fill these all out then. Now, obviously, it's going to significantly reduce the amount of forest land here. And actually, here in Typicalia, we don't have the largest... Oh dear, it was terrible placement there. We don't have the largest region here to work with, but it was big enough. And I put so many things in Nusshole that I just had to build somewhere else. I forget the name of it, but the bottom right of Twin Lakes is also a spot for building weird and wonderful structures that require me to map out the entire map. Well, we should certainly increase the amount of bread available to us, if nothing else, and just generally have more supplies. If we have excess linen after this, we could even look to start making and selling gamsons. How about them apples? Be good, wouldn't it? Certainly bring in a bit more money, although we're doing okay for money. We're up to 5,000 coins here in Typicalia, and that's with import activity going on of stone. So, all looking rather fine in my humble opinion. Right, the last couple of these down. What's wrong with that? What do you mean, no? You don't say no to Caesar. Typicalius isn't Caesar. That's blasphemy. Absolute blasphemy. Hey, for goodness sake. This is the slight downside of having multiple roads overlapping each other. Is that when you come to build fields and things inside them, they're a bit like, no, snap onto me, no, snap onto me, no, snap onto me, and they fight amongst themselves. Very jealous things, roads. I don't know if you've ever found that in Manor Lords. Yeah. My caffeine consumption has passed over into gobbledygook territory. I apologize. Well, there we have it. The mass expansion to the farm network. And actually, it's going to give us a lovely view all the way over the hill towards Typicalia itself. The great city that it shall be. Well, we need to assign some livestock to our new farm buildings, don't we? And I'm not sure whether these new 3 farm buildings is going to be enough, you know. How are we doing for oxen? Okay, but we could probably do with ordering a few more. Now, how far over are we going to come here? I suppose potentially could expand and put a few more farms on this land here. Maybe let's see how we get on with the number we have here once people have moved in, and see if that's enough with the number of farms that we have already. Basically, we'll either have enough people to harvest all the goods, or we won't, and that really is, it really is that simple. Now, we do of course have a number of farmhouses over here, which can also assist. We should probably upgrade these to hitching posts. I don't know if we actually assigned livestock to these. We didn't. Let's do that now, since I do have families assigned. And then let's go ahead to livestock trading post, which is down here. And let's see if we can't import a number more lovely oxen. So, probably want to go up to 40 or so, I'd say. We should have the capacity for that. Might be time to get another sheep farm as well, because I do feel that we are perhaps a little stretched on the one we have at present. So we'll pop that one down there. We need to replace those windmills, don't we? Okay, so how would we be able to put them in here? Not great because of all the surrounding tree cover. What about here? Oh, yes. That could work quite nicely. 1. Hello. Road is this way. Hello. 2. And 3. There we are. 3 lovely windmills sat looking together. And a lovely bit of rain to fertilise our new fields. I'm not going to activate them just yet because we need lots of people moved in to go and work at these farms. Keep putting off the great reassignment where we reassign everyone to local workplaces, but I feel its population density is only going to go up. Now, I don't want to do any more ale distribution. We've got 145, so we are ready for our next bout of upgrades potentially over here. Try and get everyone else up to burgage plot level 3. But if we do that, then we won't get people moving into the new burgages down here. So we definitely want to get those moved into first. And I'm tempted, very tempted, to perhaps, I tell you, put another couple of burgages in here, just to fill up the space. Get even more workers down the farms here. Okay, let me just fill out here. Let's have a snapping and just do this. Yes, but I feel we can get more. I want more. Why don't you give me more? That might not be a bad option. Can we squeeze even more? Yes. Eh. Okay, we'll do that. We'll squeeze those into there. Here are a few additional burgages on top of those we've already started building. Now, I'm very keen that we do start getting some tiles over here, some roof tiles. Now, we have been... What am I doing down here? Oh dear. Building requires maintenance. Did we run out of tools by any chance? Well, we've got a bit of regional wealth. Why don't we go ahead and set you to import some, shall we? So, where's your lovely trading post? Over yonder here somewhere, isn't it? No? Somewhere in here? Yes. Let us trade. So, you shall buy in tools. Up to 50, let's say. Buy a trade route and let you worry about that. And then over in Ludenfield, we are got a little bit more money. And we are up to 18 clay. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy a horse to help with our trading. We'll go into the livestock tab on there and assign it the horse, so when it arrives it knows where to go. We'll upgrade a couple of those there. Get a mini orchard in there. Yes, we've got all these new burgages, haven't we? So why don't we go for one orchard and for 2 veggie plots to make sure we've got enough of everything we need. So we'll get those built. And we want to start thinking about producing tiles. So let's go ahead and get down a number of clay furnaces. We're going to put down just in here. Some lovely little gaps in between. Like that. And I do quite like how Linfield so far is all working quite nicely around this central area here. I think we are going to want a few more clay mines as well, so let's get those down now while we're over here. I don't think we're going to need to go for 5, I think that's probably excessive. The naughty noise has happened, so we'll go for 1. Maybe we'll just go for 1 more actually. Let's not push it. So we'll just go and put 1 just here. Like so. Connect that up to the road network. Alrighty. And we will staff that just as soon as we have the spare staff. We'll definitely need to be increasing the number of workers at the granary and storehouse here. Let's do that now while I'm thinking about it. And then it would also be good to have a storehouse dedicated to the movement of all things clay. So I think we'll put in a little road behind the furnaces here. And on this road, we shall locate our storehouses. We'll get 2 of them. Oh dear, don't want that one quite there. Let's move that one a little bit closer, shall we? Turn off snapping and do it manually. And we'll set those up to be owners of clay, right. Oh, have a back, okay. Right, we have a slightly damaged retinue here to defend Venice. And as for Typicalia, where is our retinue? Oh, it's actually in Venice. Okay, which moves the Chanyu down here, retinue, and I suppose our own domestic troops. We'll rally them. I assume they're going to come this way anyway. Right, let's line the men up in here. And hopefully we should be in position basically as the enemy arrives. Okay. And let's just take them. Little else we can do. We don't have masses more men than them. I'm not going to bother going as far as to set us to be aggressive or defensive. I think we're just going to have to let our numbers play out. It'd be good if we could keep them in front of us, though. I'm going to shield wall you up, because you are taking on 2 units, and that will leave the rest of our troops to try and deal with these 2. And then once we've done that, we can go and reinforce our men over here. I really wish that they would stay in shield wall once we've asked them to. Now, I did notice that recently, when they did the upgrade to how troops fight, while it was pretty good in general, troops like this now are much more likely to move around and kind of spin and rotate, which isn't ideal. Really, especially when you're defending with inferior numbers, especially like if you play games like Rome Total War series in general, you really want your troops to stay in one position. Especially when defending, because if you are on the back foot, you don't want to be fighting fair. You want to be minimizing the amount of troops fighting at any one time, limiting the number advantage the enemy have, and fighting efficiently. You can't do that if your troops constantly rotate around. But Nonetheless, we have won this conflict handily, so we'll send everyone home. And we'll probably temporarily employ a bunch of people at the corpse pit over here. Back over here, let's set up the storehouses. They're not going to have market stalls, and pretty much all they're going to contain is roof tiles and clay. And I guess charcoal to supply the furnaces. And that's going to be it. So we'll upgrade that to a large one, and then we'll put the same restriction on his neighbour over here. Maybe we'll allow this one to have tools as well. Being the generous Caesar god that I am. Alright. Roof tiles, yes, very important. That's the whole point. And we've got a few spare workers. Let's get a few families working at one of the clay furnaces. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up export on tiles. And we're going to trade internally. That's going to be our source of income. And we're going to stop trading away our lovely clay, because we're now going to be putting it to a much better use. No trade, I say. Got a few more people that can move in as well. And when they do, that'll give us a good number of workmen. We may also put some expansions on as well to get us those few additional workers, or maybe even put in some smaller burgages. As our food supply does go up and it becomes less of a problem, perhaps some more concentrated workers. So why don't we go on this road here, and we'll just put in a concentrated batch of cottages like that there. We'll get down an additional granary and storehouse for domestic supply too. And I might do the same over here, with the aim of having a local workforce, with houses, etc. But we are actually out of goods, so we'll come back to that idea, and we'll focus on the main construction over here for the time being. Get ourselves some animal pens in these other burgages, ready for when we can afford to buy ourselves some livestock for them. Good stuff. We'll get one family working at this storehouse here, so we can start taking on those goods, and in an ideal world, we're already producing some lovely clay roof tiles, and indeed we are. We're up to 5 already, which means we can go on over to Typicalia, visit its trading post, the active one, and set an import on roof tiles from local sources, and we want about 200 at any given time. We'll head on back over here, because we'll need to adjust the limits, and we don't want to keep any in stock for ourselves, so we'll just set that to 0. We'll make 4 per trade, which is going to be more than enough to support the regional wealth for this area, and also won't be too expensive for us over at Typicalia, so I think it's a win-win, isn't it, rather? What? Glad you all agree on all. Top show, everyone, top show. Right, 2 more animal pens in yonder, and let's head on home to Typicalia. Oh, it's good to be home. I do love Typicalia in the autumn. Such a beautiful place to behold. Everyone's out in the fields, look. Very hard working, are we? It looks a lot like you're just standing around. No, you are planting. It's good to see. Good. Just a little spot check there on the workers. Want to make sure they're doing their thing. And look at that. A whole bunch of people have moved in down here. Let's get them some upgrades. It seems to be an efficient use of everyone's free time at present. And we'll put some expansions on these burgages, and we'll buy you an apiary. Why not? Let's get another family working at granary, and maybe even a storehouse to help with those supply chain issues we've been experiencing all this time. And we'll get 2 families per each of these farmhouses, so we can start making use of their oxen. With that, why don't we introduce a couple of crop rotations? So, wheat, barley, flax. Maybe we'll go all the way across the top here first with our usual wheat, barley, flax, wheat, barley, and flax. Okay, I wish I had a cheat sheet for exactly how the fertilities worked, or at least some better UI to explain it. Wheat, barley, flax. I'm well aware I might not read it, but I would still like it. No more minutes. Okay. We'll start with those for the time being, so we've only assigned an extra 6 workers to the industry. We can always do more later. Trees seem to be going pretty well. We're definitely making use of all the mushrooms. Supply is looking good. Down to 3 plus 4 for housing. So we're not a million miles away from doing the next ale run. And once we have enough roof tiles, think we'll go ahead and get the church upgraded, because that's all we're waiting on. Just 10 roof tiles, and it won't take very long to import those at all, once we've got production up and running in our other region, Ledenfield. Just 2 unassigned families here. We're going to have to wait for a few more to be moving in, and we're a little shy on cash at the moment as well, so it's very much a waiting game over here. But I'm sure they'll be fine. Exposed stocks. That's no good, Boss Vice. What are you doing? We've rather left you alone, haven't we? I mean, yeah, I think I've been pretty generous. I've helped you to survive. That's what a ruler does, doesn't he? I suppose we can dole out a couple of upgrades. Why not? I did turn a few of these buildings, as you can see, into some small holdings. I took that perk in the end just so we can slightly up the amount of food being produced from the individual couple of the farms, basically. We were looking a little sketchy on farms. I think that's probably mostly, though, because the new ones I built hadn't fully come online at the time. Goodness, you've got a lot of planks, haven't you? Not so much on the log front, though, the timbers, despite the improvements I've made to your logging industry. Good. Right, well, that's enough for you to be getting on with, isn't it? The fact I'm letting my my subjects over here get up to level 2 at all is beyond benevolent of me. Anyway, to be honest. Yes. Right. Vinitz, the little village that is surviving well. I mean, I think Ledenfield has already outgrown it in terms of size, and it's a quite little centre road village, isn't it? I suppose to see a lot of trade here, being in the centre of our region. And one of the main suppliers of Typicalius in terms of the resources that we need. We'll need to get some deep mines over here eventually as well, but we won't fret over that too much at the moment. 12 roof tiles. Hopefully our... Yep, our horse has arrived. Have we had any tiles delivered yet? Oh, we've had 5 of our brand new roof tiles delivered. It's fantastic to see. Did we get these done? Looks like we did. They're all planted up. It's good to see. It's going to give us... Oh, nearly all planted up anyway. Some are still being ploughed. Good grief, into December? And what a time of year to be ploughing. It just occurred to me that we never reopened our windmills. And yes, there is indeed a lot of grain to be milled. So we'll get a few families working down at the windmills. Okay. And the new hatching place we put down. Did we upgrade those to stables? Looks like we did. Okay. We seem to be keeping on top of the market stall situation. We'll get an upgrade for you. We'll give you some chickens. Might make you into an apiary as well. And I wonder if we start to redistribute some lovely alcohol at this time of year. Let's just get a few families working in there once we've done that upgrade. Let's get some workers in the tavern. And see if we can't affect some upgrades. We'll put 2 in both. Everyone should have everything they need. In fact, how are we doing for bread? We've got 60. We might even be able to upgrade straight to level 4. Ah, yes. Church access. That'll be what's holding us back on that front. Well, I mean, the next trade of roof tiles that comes in, just 3 more to go, should actually take us over the limit there anyway. Okay, well, a few of the level 2 holdouts are starting to show signs of upgrading. Ooh, do we upgrade? Ooh, dilemma, everyone. Let's pause the game, dilemma. Do we want to upgrade the burgages outside of the inner ring? That wasn't part of my original plan. I thought levels 3 and 4 inside and 2 outside. It's tempting. It is tempting to go to level 3 out there, but the reason I'm not going to... Does level 3 still increase the residing families? 2 regional wealth. Yeah, plus 1 living space. So I don't really want them to be more living space out here, because the reason for that is I might convert later on, once we've got enough workers from the inner city, convert these to be small holdings. And if I do that with an additional family living there, it's going to be terribly inefficient and a waste of workers. So I am going to avoid upgrading anything outside of the inner city, I think. We're going to have a very distinctive line where we have level 4 and then no level 3 and down to level 2. Which is a shame, because level 3 burgages are rather pretty, aren't they, since they added them? But you know what? The peasants don't need to be level 3, do they? Okay. Now, I don't know if they've still yet to fix the we're ready to upgrade to level 4. Obviously, none of them will be at anyway because of the situation with the church. But it might not be long before we have 2 meats covered off. We have increased the number of chickens we have, for example, which should help us out a little bit. Yeah, I've got a few chickens sat around. We may need to import some of that salt we were talking about earlier. Do we have a local salt supply? I can't remember now. We talked about it the other day. When I say the other day, of course I mean like an hour ago. No, we thought about maybe settling in the region with it, didn't we? Is that up here? Yes. Don't really want to do that. We might even just try and grow the economy and buy something in, or we could even start slaughtering sheep, couldn't we? Do it mutton-wise. Mutton-wise? Mutton-wise, yes. But at least approval's looking good, up 90% approval. And look at that, we're ready to do our church upgrade. So we're into the next year, but soon we shall have a stone church, which will open us up to the potential for some level 4 upgrades. That is, provided that everyone else can get everything else that they need. And of course we have enough of the roof tiles available to do so. Are we using all the flour? We are, so we have enough bakers. Taking a while to make our way through the wheat grain, but that's mostly because we only recently reopened them. And there's a lot of barley to get through as well. Maybe we should go up to 2 workers in each of the malt houses, but my goodness, that has decimated the unassigned family population, isn't it? Well, we still have got space for people to move in, and we've got a few more now from this area, so hopefully we'll start filling burgages up once more. Of course, the other solution could be to put those expansions on these properties, which is also something else we can do. Don't get me wrong. We may even do that towards the end, but it's not currently a priority. I just want to get to those 15 level 4 burgage plots, get to the medium town and the large town after it, and think about building our walls. That is the plan, ladies and gentlemen. How many people do we have here? 534 in terms of the population. Not a small town by any stretch of the imagination, but not a mega one either. I think everything here is now level 3, isn't it? Ooh, is that... No, not all of them. Are you out of beverage range? Seems unlikely. Let's set a overstock on this one here. And hopefully that's going to help us push out to get to you. We'll have to keep an eye on that, because we definitely want to be reaching all of the burgages here, even if we have to temporarily put a tavern here or something to get those upgraded. I mean, it should be fine, actually, because I mean, that burgage is level 3, so you'd have thought you'd definitely be close enough, wouldn't you? So maybe it's just a supply and availability problem for the time being. 92% there on the new church. Very excited to see that go together. It's very late in the game to be getting a stone church for the first time. But we've rather taken our time, haven't we? So I think we can be excused on this one occasion, don't you? Enough waffling, typical. Let's check on how Leidenfield is doing. So, up to 5 families. Do we have a surplus on clay or a bottleneck? Small surplus potentially at the moment, so we'll get another family working at the clay furnace. Still spots we need to be moving into. But let's go ahead and see about building that expansion over here we talked about earlier. So a local source of water. It's the nearest we can get. We'll have to upgrade that to a stone well to make sure it reaches. And then we'll get ourselves some mining burgages in here. Like so. And a market stall area just here next to our lovely granary and storehouse. Okay, now are we there with our church? Looks like we are indeed, and we have our next church. I mean, I'm really excited for the next level of church, but that is not quite here yet. Although there have been rumours, haven't there? There have been rumours of the next upgrade, next patch of Manor Lords being quite a large one, so I'm rather looking forward to that coming about. But I don't think we're quite there yet. Okay, is anybody ready for a level 4 upgrade? Doesn't look like it, does it? It would appear that meats and fishes are the predominant issue at present. Well, you know what? We actually have a town over here called Bosvice. It has some fish. And it doesn't have many fish at the moment. What we could do is we could get ourselves a granary. Have I built a granary that don't really need? Let's go and search granaries. I did build some new ones, didn't I? So we've got a storehouse there. We'll just build a new granary in here somewhere. Is there space here? No, not quite. We can put it here though. Right, so we'll put a granary here. We'll extend the road out to there. We'll go to the fishing buoys. Where are the fishing buoys located? Just here. Okay, we'll set the limit to... We'll pause the workplace for a moment so they don't do any further fishing. And then we need to visit all of the other granaries. So there's one here, even though it's not active. And we're going to disallow them fish. What are those? Smoked fish. Goodness, how do you do that? And we've got a granary over here. Disallow all types of fish. Don't need to do all types, but just feels like I've definitely done it all. If I do that. Any other granaries in here? One here. Peddling fish. We'll put an end to that. I think that might be it for granaries. I mean, if we go into one of the granaries and take a look at how many stalls there are, for example. And marketplace, we have 6 workers of granaries, so yeah, that's fine. So, we're going to allow you to only hold fish. Okay. We'll assign you some workers. We really are low on logs. Did we actually have no one working at a logging camp? Did I build one and never assign anyone to it? Did I never build one? Not enough goods. Right. Might have to demolish something to make it happen. We're going to unpause that workplace now. And set the reserve maybe down to like 80 or something. And... oh. No, that's an iron mine previously. Oh, there is a logging camp right here. Let's assign it a oxen to see if that has any impact. I mean, probably the main thing actually is where it is. Let's move it over here. See if that can help at all. And my hope is this granary, yep, we'll start stocking fish. Does spoil very quickly. And then we're going to export said fish. With a 0 surplus. And we're going to see if we can't send it all over to Typicalia. So, down here, trade, food, import, and we want as much as we can get our filthy mitts on. Wood. Oh, what's that? Let's get to level 3. Oh, and a few more over here that have managed to eke their way out of level 2. Make sure we upgrade those while we have the chance. And... has anyone broken out of the level 3 slump? No, and it is that meat and fish that is currently holding us back. How long are our ale supplies going to last? They're about to run out. So I think we might as well maybe unassign one of them. And keep the other operational. In hopes that some of those fish start to arrive. Roof tiles are now absolutely pouring in. So we're going to have plenty of those without any worries whatsoever. And won't we be considering a few additional folks to work the fields? We did say whether, is this going to be enough? And to be honest, we have got a bit of space in here. So let's go ahead and build some more burgages. Just along the road here. I'm actually going to build a road that comes down like this. Kind of mimicking the curve of the first one, just so we don't have a whole bunch of burgages that kind of end abruptly. And actually, we should probably come off this road here. Curve around a little bit like that. Yeah, it's more or less what I was looking to do, although what I was looking to do is to do it well, and I've not done that. Let's make this road straight then, because that road's straight anyway. And then... it looks better, but is that enough space for a burgage and a rear extension? I don't think it is. Oh, it's just. Okay. Probably not all the way up there. Oh, it is. Oh, grand. Right. That's exactly what I wanted, basically. So we'll get that going there. We'll definitely need to get a few more families working at that granary to help with the local supply. But hopefully those families will be able to enable us to fully equip our farmhouses here. Let's go ahead and open up a few new fields with our usual rotation of wheat, barley, and flax. Let's wheat, barley, flax them up. Shenanigans. Let's start at the top there. I'm getting better with these, aren't I? Absolutely fumbled the last time I was making these. This time, it's clicking the right button every time. Boom, 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 boom. We'll leave it there. It's an additional 6 fields. 5 fields we've brought into rotation. There's going to be plenty for everyone to be getting on with. And from Typicalia to Leidenfield, 7 unassigned families. No one's moved in over here just yet, so we will hold off on assigning anyone to the storehouse and the granary over there. Let's just check the clay versus tile levels. 22 tiles for clay, so I think maybe we need a few additional workers at the mining pits, but again, might wait for Miners Row to start moving in before I jump the gun there. No need to rush. Food and fuel are still looking okay, and we can get some cabbages planted in there to further extend that okayness. Maybe get another family working at that storehouse, and I think we probably ought to get a couple working at these here as well. Grand. And the market stall hopefully is looking okay with that. It is indeed. Good stuff. How are we doing for resources? We're very low on timber. We've got plenty of planks, or at least we're getting that way. Do we build? Back here. Maybe I continue this road on. If we take that from there, kind of curve it round a bit. Kind of want this to naturally follow on. How about that? Sure. And upon that, we shall put a whole bunch of logging camps, which we're not actually going to log with, I don't think, but that are going to act as log storage. And that should enable us to stockpile a large number of logs ready for when we start our construction projects. Basically a timber yard. So almost a timberly yard. We are using a lot of logs, obviously, and planks for upgrades and construction at the moment as well. So that is going to be using up some of the supply, but I would feel better if we could have even more. Maybe we will put a couple of foresters down here as well, just in case we feel the need to do some forestation down here. Then we can replant those trees. Little road in there. Good. I think that's a lovely extension and makes sense for the forestry region. And they are indeed planting up that whole area. Good. Excellent. You've moved in over here. So you are, my friend, going to go and work at the local granary. Oh, it's really filling up, isn't it? Typicalia. I do like this. The city, the agricultural quarter, what is becoming the forestry quarter with a little farm village out here, separated from the main one. Oh, yes. Very exciting indeed. Are we supplying an excess of anything? Got, at the moment, excess barley, flax, wheat. Got lots of wool we could be turning into yarn, but not enough people to turn them into it. We're up to 400 dressed stone now. So we keep plodding on in the right direction there. Let's just check what our limits are set to for dressed stone. 2,000, so it's a ways to go yet. Now, did we run out of ale? We did, basically. Did anyone ever get anywhere near upgrading to level 4? Doesn't really look like it. Did we ever get any of that fish imported? No signs of it yet. Although, there are signs of us not having money anymore. So, I wonder what we've bought. Let's look at our imports. So, spent a lot on iron. And a lot on stone. Haven't actually bought any fish yet. Okay. I assume we are importing iron at a discounted rate. I mean, we have a strong source there. We've got one here we never really activated. Yeah, okay, right. Well, let's, for starters, get some families working at that logging camp. And let's repair this iron mine and see if we can't start exporting some iron. So we can get it at a cheaper rate. So we'll export that. There's plenty here. Desired surplus of 100, and we're going to be exporting it to our neighbours. Go and set over the likewise trade over in Typicalia for the import of iron at a cheaper rate. Lovely, it's going to save us a lot of money in the long run. Buying it for 1 instead of buying it for 11. Yes, it's a very large saving indeed. How's the sheep population? It's pretty good. We are actually going to need to get a new pasture down soon. Let's get a few families working at the new sheep farm. Let's go ahead and get that next pasture down, actually. Let's just check we're not selling any sheep. Nope. And then we can look to perhaps get a butcher's and start making some lovely mutton, which will be the additional source of meat we need to get up to level 4 burgages once we have replenished our ale supply. Okay. Let's see if we can't fill this space up here a little bit. Let's get a road down there that we can come up against when putting down the pasture. Turn off road snapping for this bit. Turn it back on for here. Come on, you can do better than that. What if we built it from the bottom? Yes. It's better. Although we might... Okay, let's put a little road here as well. Gosh, the requirements are never ending for getting these fields set right, are they? Why do I have to be so pernickety? Oh well, wonder not as to the why and get on with the how. So, space for even more sheep breeding before we start doing any ceremonial executions to supply us with goods. And that's doing this pasture space for us, but we apparently need more stable space as well. It's fine. Let's see about adding a little bit in here. Okay. Good. Is there space in this circle? I don't think there will be. No, not quite. Well, that hopefully will give us enough of a expansion anyway. Leidenfield, how are we doing? Another family? Yes. You are going to go and work at the storehouse, my friend. Good. And we're going to get you a whole bunch of chickens. Because why not? Why not indeed? Get those there. There's so many chickens. So many. So many. And a little bit of money. So we'll buy ourselves some goats for these here burgages as well. They'll be eating better than Typicalia in no time down there. 90% approval. We are down to 3,600 on our finances. How might we improve that? I mean, we've got plenty of clothes we can be selling. I wonder if the issue is we don't have enough workers at the trading posts. So we should be selling those commodities. Yes. 3 each. We also have an excess on wool. So we'll start selling everything over 200. And what else do we have a healthy surplus of? Moment yarn, but that could change in future. Obviously charcoal, we don't want to export that. Actually still importing from when we had the troubles. And we're exporting carrots and beets and cabbages. It's fine. Don't think we have enough pears to really export, do we? No. We could export wheat bread. Yeah. Export. Establish trade route. And let's say 300 is a... Ooh, 3,000. 300 is a desired surplus. Seems sufficient to me. So it's another source of income. Still importing, obviously, the roof tiles and the dressed stone. Okay. We're still exporting the shields. Grandiose. What we'll do then is check our linen levels. It's 14. I suppose we could swap over to Gambeson production at the linen plant. So Gambeson's there, and you're making woolen clothes. So how much would we get for trading away a couple of Gambesons? Gosh, expensive trade route. Really are running out of money. 10 each. Wow. Well, yeah, let's definitely see if we can't export those and make a bit of dough from them. Malt. Are we turning all our malt into ale? We've got 66 malt. We might need another brewery. With all the extra barley, we might need another malt house. Unfortunately, they're quite large. They're just too big to fit two into one square zone, unfortunately. So we can't stack them up too much. Not too much. Oh my goodness. There are houses here I never assigned things to. You were meant to be breweries, weren't you? That was your entire purpose to live. So I shall fulfill said purpose. And I suppose we should continue filling up the outside, shouldn't we? With burgages. So why don't we do that? We can always delete a few if we need to make space for some industry, but I think we're pretty much there with all the industry we're going to need to make. Make sure we get these placed so we can get expansion on there, just in case that's what we want to do later down the line. Get our lovely little triangles in here. Good. Still think this is one of the most efficient layouts for burgages. I mean, I know I've got our lovely setup for having, you know, a couple of small burgages and a large one with a extension for a, you know, garden or something out behind. That does work well, but I don't know. Ever since I came up with this, I've quite liked it. Okay. Don't need to be perfect, just good enough. We're a good enough kind of channel, if you hadn't noticed. Who's got time to be perfect? You know, it doesn't matter. No one needs to be perfect. The world isn't perfect, so why should you be? Aspire, sure. Fret over the fact that you're not? I don't think so. If I did that, I'd never do anything but fret. What is that? That's an abomination is what that is. Okay, let's see if we can't place it manually. Yeah, okay, that's better. I mean, not being perfect is one thing, and then there's that. Whatever that was. Is an abomination. We need to go back and set those hitching posts to be stables. Boop. 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 Lovely. A whole bunch of people moved in over here as well. And again, thinking of the food, we could go for chickens again, double down. Got lots of eggs on the market. Or we could go for goats. I mean, we've got a fair bit of that on the market as well. We're starting to get some salmon, I just noticed as well. Some carp, rather. They are coming in. Okay. Well, let's get some animal pens in any case. Obviously, the more people we have, the more food we'll go through, so it might be worth having a few more pig pens as well, as we try and increase our diversity. Bearing in mind as well, we're going to have to reassign something to be a butcher's later down the line. Harvests are going well. I've not really been noticing if we're leaving things unharvested or unplanted, so I might need to keep a closer eye on that this year to see if we can activate our next batch of fields. And it's going to be a few years till we've got back up to the amount of ale that we need before we can consider getting on the old upgrade chain again. At least all the time we're increasing our supply of general goods. We might come down here. Right. Fields just rotated. It didn't say anything was lost. So hopefully it's fine. Guess we might get a couple of notifications now if it's not ideal. Let's get some workers at these here forestries and set them to plant up the immediate area. And then I'm also going to assign 2 families to a logging camp here and give them a livestock assignment as well, and maybe even a hitching post for certain livestock. To see if we can't start filling up these with some logs ready for later down the line when we do need to do a lot of log-based building. They're needed for level 4 upgrades, of course, as well as building the walls and the parapets? Towers. Let's go with towers. of our city. Pardon me. Right. Well, you know what? They seem to be keeping up. Let's just activate them and see how we go, I think. Right, so wheat, But no, I was getting so good at clicking. Wheat, barley, and flax. Poor rye hanging out in here. So I don't know what the point in rye is. I really don't, because you get my understanding. My understanding is that you get 2 grain for every wheat and only 1 for every rye. Therefore, unless the ground is less than twice as fertile as if you're growing wheat compared to rye, there's no point. So I've got 94% wheat and 100% rye. It's only 6% difference, and I'm getting 2 for each of these. So, you know, and that doubles again when you turn it into flour. I just don't know why you do it. If you know, let me know. I'd love to see in the comments below. Again, it's one of these little things that still irks me. It still confuses me a tad, I must say. Got plenty of construction going on, and once all that is done, we'll go ahead and buy a whole bunch of animals. Hopefully, with the sale of some bread, etc., we'll get there. There's got a burgage here that didn't even get up to level 3. Let's get those going. Ooh, level 4. Right, well, I guess we'll get going with some level 4 upgrades as well then. Looks like buying in that fish has indeed just tipped us over the balance in terms of the meat supply, which is really good to see. We can also see that they still haven't fixed the green marker above to say you're ready to upgrade when it goes to level 4. I don't know why that's so difficult to fix. How have they not spotted that? Is it just like it's game breaking to fix? That's the only reason I can imagine they haven't upgraded it. And oh my gosh, we're out of timber. It's so frustrating when you get ready to upgrade to level 4 and all of a sudden you're timber restricted. At least we've opened that new forestry down here. Maybe we should open 2. Winter is approaching. Look at those new fields being ploughed. Isn't that pretty? Yes. I do like the look of that rather a lot. Well, autumn is upon us here in Typicalia once again. The town is growing. Soon, hopefully, it'll become a city. And I can't wait to see what these walls are going to look like. We need to design things first. Good grief. Right, we've got 33 space for people to moving in, so we're not short on those. Should we have let people move in here before we did the level 4 upgrades? Oh well, let's not worry too much about it. Let's get in a whole bunch of goats at these burgages. And then maybe we'll do pigs at the remainder. We'll also affect these upgrades, or will we? Maybe while we've got the meats, we should go up here and put some level 4 upgrades on. If indeed there are any to be had, that is. Ooh, yes, there is. One there. Okay. Those springing into existence. Rather showing our manor up, aren't they? It's a rather bedraggled early game state. Oh, it's still level 2. What are you missing? Beverages. Indeed. Anyone over here? Yes, you sir. And look at that. Medium town, and we are well on our way to the large town level, I would bet. How are we doing for ale? Yeah, okay. What we might do is shut this one soon and reopen this one here. But there's still a few more upgrades we can do around the church to level 4. Keep an eye on that. And still timber restricted, unfortunately. Buy in some pigs. Money is really looking quite restricted for us here, isn't it? But finally all the fields are active and you can really see how steep the gradient down to the river here actually is. Doesn't look like it. I spent all my time looking at the map like this, but it's down here that looks really pretty. Maybe I need to spend more time down here. There's just so much to do, isn't there? Never short of things to do in Manor Lords, although I will admit to missing the ×12 fast forward speed. It did allow me to get a lot done for these recordings, but we don't have it anymore. So let's not fret about it. Instead, let's crack on. Look at this tiny little flax field here, isn't that nice? Now, I'm quite conscious there's still a lot to harvest, and we are planting. Oh, it's just already been planted? I don't know. Some of these would have been planted at weird times of the year. I think we'll just have to leave them all to it. I'm sure the game will be able to figure it out. Right, we are definitely getting there with resources. Timber might take a while to recover, but again, I think that will get there as well. I might even go as far as to add some additional foresters down here to make sure we do get a nice thick forest here once the logging has happened. I'm also going to assign another couple of families to work at one of these logging camps. See if we can't get that hitching post constructed. And things are all generally headed in the right direction. Alrighty, I think I'm going to make myself a lovely cup of tea. I'm going to restart the game so it runs a little bit smoother. And maybe we'll, once again, rejoin things the other side of the winter. Little bit. Oh, goodness gracious. I guess we won't be waiting through the winter. Look at that. We've got to the large town settlement level. Victory is ours. Yes, our fledgling Typicalius and Typicalia Roman Empire has reached the large town settlement level. We have won the game, ladies and gentlemen. Victory. Over 4,000 days past. How embarrassing. 1,100 constructions, 1,100 endgame pop. 4 challenges won, no loss. Killed nearly 500 lads, only lost 7. Only 6 dead villagers. It's very low for me. But we're going to continue, obviously, because our goals are far more lofty than just a simple little bit of... Where am I? Hello, I'm lost! A simple little bit of large town leveling, because we want to get some gorgeous walls around this here settlement, and that indeed is what we're working towards next. Right, back to the tea break. We are well into March, and I'm starting to think we ought to be starting to think about how exactly we're going to set out the trees within our kingdom here. So, my thoughts are, I'd quite like to have some thick rows of trees up and down the concourse. How am I going to do that? Well, we do have this little forest lad here, and I'm actually going to set the circle really small. And I think we go, basically, do we go to outer edge or dead center? I think maybe we go dead center? No, outer edge, I think. But for the time being, what I think we will do, actually we'll just set you foresting somewhere well over here for the moment, is we need to really destroy a lot of things. Yes, I know, destruction, very sad. But I think we need to get rid of the trees and shrubs that are already here, so that we can build these nice, clean concourses. So we'll just go ahead and build a whole bunch of fields, etc. in these spaces, if it lets us. Come on. And there's not even anything in this one. What am I doing? And clear them all out so that they are ready for us to use. For 1, so we don't have any trees in the way of walls. And for 2, that we can distribute our trees as we see fit, really. These lines are definitely being dodgy. Let's see if we can't do it all manually. A little bit like that there. How's that? Yep, let's clear that out nicely. So we'll just see about repeating that process all the way around. We'll start here on the inner walls, and then we'll do the concourses. And then we'll go to the outer walls, I suppose. Make sure it's all done. Not necessarily going to get all of the trees this way. We might have to build a few little rows like that. To delete anything else. It's almost easier, isn't it, doing that? It would be nice and easy if it snaps true. Yeah, there we are. That one worked. Maybe it's just those ones over there that didn't want to play a ball. Alright, this is where it gets a really densely foliaged on this side, where we've not had any workers cutting down trees. So, let's see about getting those. It'd be really cool if we had some of these with flax planted in them. But of course, it's only going to look really cool at one time here. That's what would be good. We need flower beds. Yes, and decorative like olive trees and the possibilities are endless. Honestly, devs, if you just want an ideas guy, I can't make any of this happen, but I can definitely be your ideas guy. Let me know. Hit me up. Check out the email address. Right, let's build these. And I think it's about time we deleted that road. Which might rather bother up supply, but it was always going to be a temporary road. It's been there a lot longer than I thought it would be, mainly because I forgot about it. Okay, entirely because I forgot about it, but there we are. Right, let's delete all these around here, and then see if we can't get on to the concourses, as I have decided to call them. Right, looking a little bit cleaner already. Gosh, 27 spots we ought to be moving into. A lot of space. Come on, full speed ahead, please. There's a couple of things in here we need to get rid of. Okay. Let's delete anything that we've missed. That's pretty good. Right. Central areas. These are a little bit smaller, but we'll just do the same. We'll just do everything that looks like it has even the faintest hint of a shrub. I know there is a shrub deleting tool. Oh, this also works. Might still use that. Anyway. Let's go there. Come on, road tool. Doesn't want to play ball. We'll have to come back in there with the road tool proper. So we delete those. Alright, I wish there was a proper erase all button. Demolish everything in this zone. Just use the right button for it. Although, you know, maybe that's going to come with the new advanced workforce. Who knows? Who knows? Not I. Mainly because I haven't done any reading about it. They may have told us. I definitely would not have seen if they had. Just really do some more research. But you know what? I'm not made of time. What about all you beautiful people to finish this city for you? You were so lovely. In the last comments, you know, I was a bit unsure, to be honest, and then you were all like, yes, we want to see it completed. Please, typical. Play more. And I was like, I know. You all wanted the Roman city so much that was alluded to the last time, then I'll see what I can do. And keep all you lovely bunnies happy. Okay, delete that. I don't know why I called you bunnies. I'm terribly sorry, everyone. I'm sure you're all magnificent hares. Not helping, am I? No. Okay. I feel like our manor should have a road connecting it. I don't know how we've managed to not do that this whole time. Okay, so that is the inner area cleared out. Let's move to the outer. So, well, at least the outer concourses first. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. It's so much nicer if I could just have Jeffrey, my butler, do this for me. Yes. Jeffrey, I need you to clear some shrubs, please. Have you tried using the shrub clearing tools, sir? No, Jeffrey. That was what you were going to do. Oh, very well, sir. Very good. Jeffrey. Good old Jeffrey. Jeffrey's canon now. I'm sure you'll all remember, and I shall forget. And then you'll all be like, where's Jeffrey? And I'll be like, who's Jeffrey? I don't know what you're talking about, mate. That's basically what's going to happen. Let's delete those. It is fascinating, the amount of absolute waffle I can come up with. But I'm just deleting fields, isn't it? Most people put an edit here. Oh, I won't. You're welcome. Right. I don't have the connecting road there, but I do here. I think we should probably delete that, don't you? Yes, it was just left on this side for some reason. Alright. Any escaping shrubs there? There's one there. Otherwise, that looks clear. That looks pretty clear. This is sort of the outside here to do. That looks clear, which just leaves this one here at the bottom. Alright, yeah, we're onto the outer ring. So this one should be fairly straightforward because we can do this in nice large sections. Okay. I have to remember how I intended to do the walls. Now, I could go back and watch my own video. I'm not going to. I'm just going to make it up as I go along. Oh, look, another road that needs deleting. Right. And we might need to delete those stables. We'll have to wait and see as to whether or not I decide to keep those. Alrighty. That one there. And then come across here. Gosh, it doesn't feel like a massive space until you have to go all the way around it, meticulously deleting something. Then it feels quite large indeed. Right, I think that's the last one. Then we'll delete those. Now, the question is, how far outside the walls do we delete stuff? Now, we kind of have this buffer anyway. So I might just leave that buffer there and just have dense forest outside it. Now, it is only the outer wall. So I suppose the inner walls themselves will be nice and clear. It's a bit like Canaan, isn't it? Oh, no, not Canaan. What am I talking about? Canaan. Good grief. Get your law right. What am I thinking of? It's on the tip of my tongue. I know you're all screaming it. It is like Kyrian. That's the one. Indeed. This shall be called Foregate, except it shall not, because this is a Roman city. Right. How are we doing for stockpiles of ale? We're up to 100. Let's stock up that tavern there and see if we can't ale people up. And I'm also going to come in here and turn you into butchers. Gosh, that was a loud sound effect, wasn't it? We'll just wait for that to be completed. We'll hang around here and make sure that we assign them limits so they don't kill all of our beautiful sheeps. Although we do have an excess of wool still, don't we? So it's not like we need loads. Yes, you are making mutton, and I want you to keep at least 200 sheep. And I don't know why you'd kill lambs. They're going to grow up to be the sheep we need. Okay, what are we actually sat at the moment? Hello, lambs. 58 lambs to sheep. Okay, so we can kill 100 sheep for mutton then. That should lead to some upgrades pretty quickly, hopefully. There was a green thing there for a second. Can't possibly so upgrade to level 4, could it? No, don't be silly. They haven't figured that one out yet. Can't be. Am I the only one that has this problem? Is it like me specific? Is that why it's never been brought up? Probably. Right, for some reason the sheep haven't teleported in. It's because it's going up to level 3. Lol. But I'm sure they will get there in time. I think what we probably will end up doing is oversubscribing the granaries, etc. with workmen. Just so that we can get even more people working at them to help the supply. It's not going to be as efficient, but I figure more people is better than no people. So probably fine. We've got an excess population anyway, which we should do by the time we've finished with people moving into all these beautiful burgages. Still got burgages to move into down here as well. We'll buy some pigs there in anticipation of future patronage. And my goodness, don't the fields look magnificent. Come on, blue stuff. Oh, yeah. Really wish he was still there when I zoomed out. Not to admit. Even if it was, like, not this high fidelity, but just like a blue haze. Like you've got the brown haze here. Why don't I have a blue haze? Very sad. Very sad indeed. Oh, well. Let's not mourn over the inability to see flax at a distance. Let us instead make steady progress. Right, I guess we've just got to wait for the butchers to do their thing, haven't they? Where are you all going? Getting animals. Fair enough. Okay, we've still got some trees in here. Let's see if we can't delete them. With a few little roads. Yes, there we go. I think that's helped. And that one there. I'm going to clear some of these trees that are really tight here up against the wall where there's no others, because I feel like better without them, especially here at the front. Let's try that raised shrubbery tool over here. Yeah. Can I not change the size of this tool? That's irritating. Oh well. It does work. Okay. We'll just do that along the tree line a bit there to thin it out as well. Alright. I can hear it doing things, even if I can't see it doing things. Ah! Right. Come on. Good. Yes, raw tax. Alright, well, never has our city looked cleaner. I do love the look of the level 4 burgages here in the inner city itself. Ah, right. We are there with the... Oh, it's actually some fish we've imported. Allowing us to do some upgrades here. I would have thought it would have been the mutton. Maybe that's still to come. It's obviously the time of year when fish once again become available. So we'll just make sure to do these when and where people are ready for it. Could I fit another burgage in? Probably could, couldn't I? We have done so elsewhere. So I think we might as well do it. Why would you snap like that? Guess you're going to be a small one. Still nice to make use of the space. Are there any others where we can do that as well? Let's get these upgraded to stables so they look a little bit nicer. Because obviously at some point, we're not going to be able to build in here anymore. And that is not too far away, because I foresee castlage soon, hopefully. Okay, that looks to have made use of the space. Get rid of those shrubs. Is that a shrub? Can I de-shrub you? I can. Alrighty, how is everyone else getting on? I assume you're all fine, aren't you? Yeah, I'm sure we would have seen some death messages if you weren't. We haven't had a raid in a while. We'll have to keep an eye out for one of those, should it be coming our way, but that has cleared out all the trees from our lovely city, but don't worry, we're going to be planting some more. So, good grief, wrong button. How am I going to do that? Let's go then to the forester's hut, and the answer is slowly and painfully. So, we're going to make the tool as small as we can, maybe? We're going to do it one tree at a time. It's so difficult to make a decision. Yeah, let's go small tool. And we're going to plant them individually. And I think we will start with, I guess, one in the center of each of these. And that's going to be easy to keep track of. So if I say, oh, we'll do the back third, it's going to be inconsistent. It could go right across the road, actually. That's another option. Or right outside the outside. Okay. Are they going to be able to plant there because it's the road? Right, let's go middle. So many decisions to make. Right, we'll go middle there. Let's watch this person go and plant this tree. To see if they do it. For starters, and then we'll know if our plan can work. Because I'm assuming they're just going to plant one tree in that spot. And it shouldn't take them long at all to find it once they actually get to the spot, because it's not very big to explore. So hopefully that'll work nicely. Oh, apparently someone's going to plant. We can see them coming over. Let's see if they do it where we want them to do it. Here you come. You can plant a tree there. So far, so good. Alright, you've planted a tree. Okay, so then I think we have to just do this. Go here. I have to watch you plant it before I move you on. Yeah, good. Do you know what? That's working way better than I thought it would. Okay, I think we can probably even go for 3 trees per one, even at a start point. So we'll go one there. Okay, one here. Now, it does say successful tree plantings, doesn't it? So you can increase your successes planting trees. So I'm guessing not always going to work, but I guess pretty soon we'll be able to see where there are gaps. Okay, there. And that'll be this row done. We'll just have to repeat that everywhere else, and I'm sure that won't take any time at all. But you know what? It is actually happening faster than I thought it would, at least. Okay, so with that tree there, that should be our first row. And then I think I'll immediately carry on with this side. So one there. Second family here to make sure we've got enough people here. 1, 2. They're going to work together. Oh dear. We're going to end up with 3 trees there.
Step right up and center.
That might not be the end of the world. Because if not all of them succeed, at least maybe one of them will. It seems there's space for them to plant 2 trees in each of these little, the smallest work zone we can make for them. Okay, I'm not sure that was quite in the right place, but do you know what? It's the first time I've done this, so we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. At least I don't have to wait for everything to plant it. It's not instant, like if you were just putting down scenery, but at least it doesn't take, you know, a minute per tree, because my goodness, I don't have that much free time. Ooh, once I place it, do they carry on even if I move it? Maybe? Yeah. So maybe I can move even faster. Right, then we'll do one in the center here. And one here. And then we'll continue straight down the road, shall we? And what is this going to have? In theory, this would have 6. It's a double width. So 1, 2, And 2 over here. This will be 3. Maybe it's going to be a few less trees, actually. Maybe 5, I think, given the spacing I've done here. And 2 more. Okay. And then finally up to here. And we'll cross over the road. And then 3 in here. My goodness, this is tedious. I know it's not as tedious as it could be, but there's no getting away from the fact this is tedious. Okay. It does seem to be that I can just work with one forester, though. I don't need to worry about having multiple. There's plenty enough people from from 2 families. Okay. Now, I don't think... Oh, that's the wrong button. I don't think you can plant trees inside of manor grounds. Could be wrong. But that, to be safe, I probably want to make sure we get all this planting done before we go into the manor grounds. In fact, we can probably test that. If we come over here and we build ourselves a tiny little manor zone. A little something like this here. Okay. Commit to that and see if we can't get that. There's only 1 family for construction, so it might take a while. But that will allow us to test if we can actually plant trees inside of it. And hopefully, if we get in here, look, trees, roughly in a line. Ooh. Baddies have turned up. Where are they? Ooh, all the way over here, in this hole. Okay. Alright, so let's deploy 2 retinues in the general direction of these settlements. And it might be worth us rallying our own militia as well. And we'll send them in this direction. And let's see where the enemies are headed. Okay, they're headed for Boss Weiss. So I will actually keep this unit here. But we will deploy our spears in this direction. And we will have to march in the retinue from here. Could we be a small garrison? We do have a bit of money though. Right, let's hire in some lads here. Give them some armor. That'll give us 12 members of retinue in the local province under attack to defend while our other retinue marches on them to arrive. Okay. So we'll rally them. Good. There's 12 local warriors. They spawned with 0... I guess maybe that's to stop you from just constantly respawning new troops. Yeah, that's probably what it is. But once they get to the line here, we'll let them rest up. My brand new heavy infantry. Remember the battlefields we had here? It was a slaughter. And here come the reinforcements. We'll set them to stand their ground, because there aren't many of you. And we'll fight in here. Okay, you can fight aggressively. And between the 2 of you, you shouldn't have any problems, really. Be surprised if we lose anyone. Okay, right. I want you to be defensive, but you can go and help the other retinue. Good grief. Alright, in they go. So that's 32 lads of retinue against a whole bunch of swine. Hopefully we don't lose anyone. Ooh, we have lost a couple of members of our own retinue, actually. Or at least 1 retinue. Oh, 2, 3. Oh my goodness. Absolutely bleeding numbers. I wasn't expecting that at all. Right, we're down to just 20 men. I think we should probably still come out on top. Oh, I'm not sure. Are we going to lose? Oh my goodness, we can lose 2 retinues. We've been absolutely swarmed. Normally, I would have thought that one unit would be enough on its own. They've destroyed the domestic... No, the domestic is all that's left. The Typicalia retinue has been destroyed. Well, I didn't see that coming at all. Set our last few men to defend the pass here. I don't know if they're going to be able to come out victorious, though. Down to 5 men, 4 men. My goodness, I was not expecting this defeat. Our heavy infantry has been absolutely slaughtered. It's going to leave 2 small bands left to raid Bosvice. Last brave lad here, fighting on, and he is dead. Well, we're going to see some burning here, that's for sure. Well, I said it was a while since we had a raid, and there it is. Well, at least it was in a region we care relatively little about. How long have our troops been sat there? Let's not think about it. They may have gotten here in time to save Bosvice. But instead it burns. Come on, when you're done raiding, there's only 2 parties. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long. We're going to have to rehire the Typicalia retinue at great expense. And equip them with armor and redeploy them to defend the northern territories where their predecessors fought and fell for the defense of Bosvice. A region where, not many years ago, we were slaughtering the local population's military just to take control. Well, I do fear that as the local Roman emperor, I have rather failed the people of Bosvice here. Alas, there's nothing I can do. We'll just leave them to burn. Right. It's not our beautiful homeland here in so. Worse things have happened. Worse things have happened to Bosvice than they have actually. But still. Alright, well, we tried. We tried. Let's bring our men home and get them back to useful domestic tasks. There we go. Right, let's see how these trees plant up. And... oh, good, we've completed construction here. Right. There is a local forestry just down here. Can I plant trees in here? Now, slight design flaw. I've not designed in a gate. Let's build a gate on the manor first and see if we can then make something. While they do that, let's check how... they're still raiding. They're not going to go on to one of our other regions, are they? Oh no, one's disbanded. Maybe they'll disband shortly too. Oh, they had... no, they're just hiding. Okay, oh. I don't know. Right, I am going to deploy the Chanyu retinue in this direction. They should be enough on their own to take care of these ruffians, because they're still just up here burning Bosvice. And they normally would have despawned by now. I don't know why they're still here. Well, they're not currently burning stuff, so I guess we try and rebuild. They haven't completely burned the place down. The logging camp is intact, so we've got what we need to build more, produce more resources. No, they are still burning. I've not seen this behaviour before. My goodness, how many people here have died? Population is drowning. The Chanyu retinue is nearly here. Hopefully to put an end to the rampant destruction that's going on. I really should have... I realised they weren't going to despawn after the amount of looting they've done. I would have brought in the local militias from Vicalia, which were on the border almost. Just didn't think it would be necessary. They're burning faster than I can even assign rebuilding. Oh my goodness. Entire streets continue to burn. Oh, this has been very poorly handled by myself. Alright. Let's deploy the retinue. And this should be a slaughter. Engage. Heavily armored retinue. This time we outnumber them. It should be a formality. We should not lose any men in this particular conflict, but given how the retinue performed previously, I don't know. No, they're broken. And they're broken. Right. Thank you, Ichanyu retinue. You have come and saved Boss Vice. Sorry, Boss Vice. People are coming back out from the manor. Did they go and hide in the manor? Oh, they did. Didn't know that was the thing they did. Right. I feel like we ought to get a garrison tower after all that. So we'll build that there. And let's go and do a bit of repairing. I wish that, again, if there was a repair all tool, that'd be very handy. I'd like that a lot. Alas, there is not. So we're just going to have to go around and clicky-click. And then probably come back later and clicky-click all the clicky-clicks that we forgot or missed clicky-clicking. We're out of materials anyway. Right, well, hopefully Boss Vice lives to fight another day. Let's deploy the reformed Typicalia retinue so we can deploy it north. Protect the small outpost of Venitz. And are we done with construction over here? The manor with a gate. Yes, we are. Right. Let's do the test then. We can't do it all summer. Blast! I'm so keen. I guess we might as well stable our troops in here then. How funny is that? That's the first proper manor we built. Anyway, the tower's on the wrong side as well. Oh my goodness. I've really not paid attention there, have I? My trees survived? Yeah, well, they look roughly planted in a roughly straight line anyway. There's hope for a fairly good-looking concourse there, I think. Oh, yes, we had a few people move in here, didn't we? Should we... Well, not move in, but new burgages. We'll get a combination of various goods. Maybe we'll put some vegetables in there. Who knows? Now, are we cold over in Boss Vice? Would surprise me. No, we're okay, actually, considering we had most of our buildings burned. In fact, a few more repairs. Yes, we did lose one of the storehouses. I don't know why they stuck around for so long. Very bizarre. The losses were far greater than they need be. That's for sure. Right, we need to wait for winter to pass so we can test if we can plant that tree over in this region. And then either I'll get back to planting trees over here, or it will be time to start designing the manor. It'll be one of the two, that's for sure. Right. I shall wait on March. Toodlepip, y'all. Lovely stuff. So it's March, so we'll go down here and grab ourselves our forester's hut. Let's see if we can make them plant inside of the manor grounds. Oop. And we'll wait to see if they arrive. So far, not so good. One of them is looking for a planting spot. They could be coming over this way. Ooh. Oh, they went back the other way. Oh. So much tension. They're going to come in and plant? No, you're just looking. Can you not actually plant? I can assign you the space, but you can't plant. Is that right? I'll give you a large spot. Yeah. But I gave you that spot outside. Hello? Where'd you go? What route are you taking? Oh, a weird one. Yes. Okay, right. So we can't do that. We do need to plant all of our trees first. Okay, right. We'll set you back over here. And that means we've got a... Oh, I say we. I mean I. Why is there a... What? What? Why is there a flag there? Right. Oh, look! The trees are growing! Right, that means I've got to plant all these trees before I do the manor. Looks like everything did plant, even the ones at the start. Okay, right, so I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to do the other rows, I think exactly as I've done these, all the way down through here. And do we want them to go around the walls? I don't think so. I think they just want to be on the concourses. And then we can worry about the trees outside, if we wanted to do that at a later date. Right, I will go and do the trees on these 3 runs, and then we shall reconvene once I've done all that planting, and perhaps we're ready to start looking at manor construction. Right, please think of me while I do all this meticulous clicking. It's for you, for all you beautiful people I'm going to manually plant trees for the next hour. Goodbye! Oh, well, hello there. Welcome back, everyone. I realise for you, no time at all has passed, but for me, it's been a little while. As you can see, we've got a gorgeous set of trees. Oh, yes. There's still some growing, but my goodness, how good does this look? What a concourse! The trees are all beautifully lined up. I'm really happy that's come out. I mean, what a city to live in. Roman or otherwise, this would be a place everybody wants to be for sure. So I've cleared the tree line back a little bit further from where we want to build our walls, and then I've gone through on all 4 of the incoming roads to the city towards the manor and planted up all of our trees. I don't believe we've got any gaps. I'm pretty happy with how close together they are. A gap. We'll have to address that. Find me a tree boy. You, my tree boy. I need you to plant a tree right here. Make it so. We'll just watch to make sure they do indeed come and plant said tree. We don't want any gaps, because once we've built the manor grounds, we can't go placing them again. We can only plant these once, and I have gone through and also updated where all of our woodcutters' lodges and logging camps are allowed to cut. Excellent. Well done. So that we don't accidentally cut down any of our own trees, and then we're not able to replace them later on. So, very happy about that. And we'll just check to make sure I haven't missed any others, because I didn't think I'd missed those. We've got a couple of trees here, which are meant to be growing up soon, but just in case, perhaps we ought to make sure there's some more planted just there. Here's a little gap. How about these? That one looks good. As does that one. Wonderful stuff. Let's just double check they come and plant this one. Yep, at least one's going in. I'll leave it a little bit longer to see if anyone else wants to pop down a lovely little sapling as well. How are we all? Good? Good. Okay. That'll do. Pause. Oh no, don't relocate. Rabies. Pause, pause, pause. I also went through and added a few extra dwellings here and there. Deleted the occasional old logging camp that was in the outer rim here. I've also gone through and done a complete reassignment of everyone so that we have everyone working more efficiently. That has led to a slightly better situation with the granaries and the storehouses, although not perfect still. And there is still a bit of upgrading to be done in here. They're currently short of beverages, which I'm hoping to start saving up. So we might go ahead and unassign the families from the taverns so we can start saving up those ales ready for when we want to distribute them and get the rest of these burgages up to level 3. I believe we'll be able to do that, though, once we have constructed the manor, so that doesn't need to hold us up any longer. I also added another row of houses over here, which is still to be moved into. A whole bunch of goats to go into those. And that's so we get more immediate workforce for the farms, because actually, by the time we've filled up these jobs here, and the local granaries and storehouses, we've used a fair number of the workers from these dwellings. So most of the workers at the farms are coming from over in the city, which isn't ideal. I've also added these in here. So you'll see we've got 44 available living spaces. We're up to 853 in terms of population. I've also gone ahead and recruited a few units of footmen. I've also got a polearm militia in the training, hopefully. And we're also up to now 5 retinue. So we've weathered a few little storms in terms of raiders coming in. So now each region is protected by its own retinue. The Typicalia retinue is actually ensconced within the manor itself. Resources are coming in nicely. I've stopped selling vegetables so we can start stockpiling food, because I do believe when we go to build the manor, some fancy shenanigans can happen and things go wrong. All that to say, we've got a fair few people that still need to move in. We have got a large workforce of unassigned families, so I think it might be time, everyone, to plan the manor grounds and the castle we've all been waiting for. So with the rain pouring upon our heads, let's go over to the manor and open the castle planner. My goodness, this is exciting. Now, I don't know if these trees at the ends are going to be in the way. I haven't really fully planned out how this is going to work yet, but I think we should start with the inner walls. Should we start with the inner walls or outer walls? Maybe the outer walls. Let's start with the gates. So, do we literally we line up with this road here and come across and line up with that one there? Gate. And then I think we'll want some outer towers, won't we? So if I rotate this round, maybe we're better off putting the outer towers down first. Right, so if we're thinking, obviously the little balcony goes at the back. And maybe we line these up with these roads here. So 1 and 2. Thank you. We put a gate between those two. We can. So I quite like that as a 4 gate. And then maybe we put... Oh dear. Big zoom. Big zoom. Maybe we put another outer tower in line with the next road back. Maybe we do it one for each road. And this time I think we'll put it as close to the inner road as we can. So maybe let's just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. Now, this is going to cost a lot of materials. I already can tell we're not going to have enough. But I think Roman cities, they tended to have a lot of towers, didn't they? So, and turrets. So I want to kind of mimic that in what we're doing here. I've missed one here, haven't I? Now, you see where that road is fatter. That's further out than the others, isn't it? Oh, is it? Maybe not, actually. Right, so then let's see about stretching a wall between each of these. It's the right way around, isn't it? Hard to tell. Doesn't really matter with the wooden wall anyway. And I think just come out on the angle to that one, as opposed to any curves. I don't think we need to have any curves. So if we connect all these along here, like so. Good grief, already up to 82 log usage. And then, how do we do the corner tower? This has been keeping me up at night, this one. We literally just go 45 degrees and get as tight in there as we can. What's that do to the wall? Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I think we do that. Right, in that case, let us take our outer towers and do a lot of clicking. So we'll line this back up this way and take these all the way around the perimeter of our fine city. And I think these alone are going to mean we cannot start construction until we have a few more materials. Is this too many? Is it mad? It's too many, surely. I mean, on one side, we're up to 162 log usage just for these towers. And we haven't even... I mean, that's going to be 600 logs we're going to need just for these. Just for the towers. Logs are not that easy to come across. We may have to have a massive logging spree over at the forestry sector. Basically chop down the whole forest in one go to make sure we have enough logs. There's also something we can't buy in. Although we could temporarily pause plank production, I suppose. And that might assist us in terms of having enough material, enough logs left over. Yes, we might have to do that. Is that what I did over here? Oh, no, over here we brought them out, didn't we? We did, yes. Right, let's move you. What? I can put you over roads. Grief. Okay, so you there, and then you here. That's it. And then back to the inner road. Goodness, these people are going to feel so secure. Now, I've never actually seen these towers shoot at enemy units, but I have heard that's what they're meant to do. So, it could, well, rather I've read. So, I suppose it's possible that enemies would come for us here. And the outer towers themselves, this many of them, maybe they would even be able to defend the walls before the brigands could even get to the gates. Who knows? Not I, for I am not a dev. Would love to meet the devs though. Very excited about this game. They're doing a great job, honestly. They are. I mean, there's always room for improvement, but that's true in every part of life, is it not, my dear fellow friends? Yes, right. Out here. Out here. In there. Great. We've already surpassed 400 log requirement. A dark hour has come upon us. How many have I put down? Good grief, man. I wasn't planning on this being a massive, massive wall build. Even when I initially planned it, I thought, we'll put a little palisade wall around the outside, and we'll put a little stone wall on the inside. It won't be too difficult to build. It won't take very long. Sounds like an excellent way to get a good-looking city without low effort. No, typically you had to go and decide to have a tower for every one corpse pit of measurement width. Yes, and that ended up costing you like 600 logs and about the entire forest and the whole economy, and probably realistically the environment wouldn't be very happy with this either. Gonna have more guardhouses than trees in this place. Good heavens. We'll leave that. We'll have a gate there going over the King's Road because we don't have a lot of choice. Which will keep it subtle. Oh my goodness. This place is big. 133 meters squared is standard. And we are at 170,000. I think it's an epic size, alright. Alright, and there's actually going to be a little gate there. That's disappointing. I don't like how that looks. I mean, it doesn't really matter that I don't like how it looks. It's just how it's going to look. Is that least disruptive? I suppose. We should probably have another gate here, shouldn't we, to mimic it? Not going to. Just saying we should. I don't want to have any more gates than I need to. Okay. Let's come across here. Just walling it up as I go along. Lovely and chill. Placing walls. Trying not to think about the staggering number of resources that will be required for this. I mean, I knew I'd need a lot of logs, but I didn't realise I'd need more logs than I've probably ever cut down in my entire Manor Lord's career. Oh dear. So, how are we all doing? You right? That's right, we've arrived at the idle small talk with the people who won't be able to hear me until this goes out section. Yes, that is how low on things to talk typical is. Never mind. Could be worse. You could be watching someone place walls around a settlement. Oh no! Disaster! Did we just click on the wrong thing? Yes, it's okay. Ooh, tell you what though, it is going to look, I think, very good. Very good when it's finished. Perhaps it might even approach being worth the effort. We'll see. I mean, I think actually my greatest achievement with this playthrough is actually the trees. Manually planting trees like I'm playing Planet Coaster. Yes. I wonder if that'll ever be patched out, that ability, or whether they will embrace it and say, you know what, that's a great way to build individual trees. We're just going to make that the normal mechanic. I presume that's why they made allow us to put the area they work in so small. I wonder if it's allowed to be that small for any different kind of job, or whether it's just the forester. It's a sort of interesting thing I should probably test. It's also the sort of interesting thing I can't be bothered to test. So there we have it. See, plank usage isn't even that bad, relatively speaking. Right, let's just bring this across like that. Okay. See, I like that little side gate. I don't mind that, but I think this one over here is just a bit obtuse. It's on the angle, isn't it? I don't think it's much. I can't do much better than that. In fact, I'm just going to make it worse if I touch it, so I'm going to leave it. Okay, so that is the outer wall planned for our lovely little settlement. We are much log short, but that's not going to stop us from getting on and planning the inner wall. So, this one is going to have less towers, just purely because it's going to have a smaller perimeter. So for the initial gates, I think once again, I think this time we'll go here. And we'll put a wall in between these. Yep. These might be the trees we delete these for. We'll have to wait and see. But what I'm thinking is these will be a high level in here. With walkways, of course. Like so. And we'll have towers on the same grid network, basically. And we'll keep to just this side of this line. And that way we've got a little bit of space inside so that the walkways aren't hanging over the streets. And there's also a defensible cleared area where no one is allowed to build any buildings. Because, my goodness, if there's an attack, we need to be able to defend the inner wall. Right, back to placing outer towers. This one is here. But it's because of where we church. And, okay, how do we do this? I think this time we do have a curve. Ooh. Interesting. Or we could have a diagonal, I suppose. So we can either do that. Or, and hear me out here, we could do that. It'll come down to whichever looks better as a wall. So that's a curved one. Don't hate it. Don't love it. And this is a straight one. Yeah, I think we'll go straight. Right, let's get the rest of these down, and then we'll go through and upgrade all of those. So again, this one is going to be here, isn't it? About there. Then we'll work away. What's going on here? Sir, you've built your house across the road. What are you doing? My goodness, does nobody understand planning laws in this place? In answer to that, they don't. Because although I do love these little triangular burgages I've created, when you put an expansion on, they do have a bit of a problem for double stacking. They rather clip into each other. Most of the time, it kind of looks intentional until you see where, you know, things clip through doorways and things. Yeah, it's not ideal. But nonetheless, a fairly efficient way. It doesn't make any practical difference. It just looks a little bit odd. Okay. And we'll work our way around the perim. What do we do? We did this, didn't we? There and here. Oh, yes. I tell you what, I know you're listening to some lovely Manor Lords music right now. But I'm listening to a lovely bit of jazz lo-fi, and it's chilling me right out. Helping me quell the rage that is always associated with building a manor in Manor Lords. Although it's got a lot better recently, hasn't it? I'm not expecting this to break the game and crashing, which is what it used to do on a regular basis when you built a manor. I'm also not expecting it to take like 100 years. And I'm also not expecting anyone to get stuck in walls. And I get to see the progress in real time, as opposed to it just all completing in one go. So, you know what? I think we've established I haven't really got anything to complain about, have I? Yes. Yes. Yes, indeed. Okay. Lose that. Last couple in here. Lovely. And then we're on to upgrading everything. It'd be great if you could have like a tower that had like a ballista on the top. It's not a Roman game, typical. Come on. I know you're playing as Typicalius, and this is Typicalia, but Manor Lords is not a Russian? What? Is not a Roman game. That's the one. You can't expect them to put Roman features in, as much as you would love them to. I mean, I would love the day we get a Roman-based city builder based a little bit like this. I mean, that would just be so awesome. Alas, I don't think we're anywhere particularly near that. Having said that, with the success of Manor Lords, I do wonder if we'll start to see other developers. Oh, sorry, just let me restart my hard drive. Developers picking up this genre to run with it. And you know what? I suppose there's a couple already, isn't there? There's that one that's based in Asia, which looks okay. I tried to play it, and it was so janky I couldn't bring myself to do it. Maybe one day. Let me know. I mean, I'm tempted, everyone. I'm tempted to start a channel called something else that is more based on trying a variety of games. So let me know. Would you be interested in watching me play other games? I could, you know, even break out a couple of classics in that, like Ostriv. Maybe even do a little bit of Planet Coaster. I think you can probably imagine, having looked at what I've done here with the trees, that I can get a bit bogged down in detail. And if ever there was a game to allow you to get bogged down in detail, it would be Planet Coaster. There's Planet Coaster 2 now as well, isn't there? Let me know if you think I should do that. I'm not going to do it for this channel, I don't think, because you all have a little bit of Manor Lords content, don't you? But for all those who would like a bit of more variety, then it's definitely something I'm considering. There you are. You've basically got a channel update in the middle of watching me do lots of clicking. I know you regularly watch me do lots of clicking, but you know what I mean. Then let's let's upgrade these walls. Always go from left to right when building your walls, when looking at them from the outside, and that way you won't have to spin every wall around every time you build it. That's something I learned the hard way. I actually remember when I built my first fully enclosed city, I had some walls in the completed city that were just straight up the wrong way around. Yes, I learned from that mistake. Got a lot easier to make walled cities since then. And I'm very excited for the introduction of town walls when they do come. I just hope that they introduce an update soon where the contested zone for a region will overlap with your manor, so that we don't have these constant battles where you're trying to defend a region, you have a castle there, but you can't defend from the castle because the game has arbitrarily decided that over there in that field, or in that part of the town, is where contest for victory and ownership will be. So you have to march out from safety and fight potentially unfavourable odds. Or, well, I guess we'll see. Time will tell. Don't know how far away that update is. Maybe it's already out by the time you're watching this, in which case I'm frantically playing it, trying to get a video. But I doubt it's that close. Okay. Right. Is that everything? Obviously, we need to build the manor up itself. Thusly. Do we put a little wall around the manor? A central keep? Could do, couldn't we? A little tiny one. Do we have some outer towers here? 1, 2, 3, and 4. And put some walls around these. I think this looks good. The final bastion of defense. And I think we will have these. Great. What has happened there? It's the wrong way around. Oh dear. Doesn't look very good, does it? Come on. That hasn't snapped very well. How do I do that? That seemed to work better, but I do want you to properly join. Come on, do the whole two become one thing. No? You too small? I think this might be too small. Let's try that one again. And let's come from there. And come on, let me highlight your little corner. There we go. That's what we wanted to do. Let's do the same on this side. Okay, let's move that back a bit. Make this a bit happier. And then we'll two become one U. Click on this corner. Oh, blast. Had it then. There we go. It's more like it. And then we'll just work our way around. Ooh. Oh, look, it actually dynamically forms around the manor. Wow. Didn't think I'd see that either. You always wonder if we don't have the walkway on these. Yeah, I think it looks cool having it. I also quite like how it does work its way around the manor quite neatly there. Okay. Right. So, what is the bill? So we're actually fine for stone. We're fine for everything except... My goodness, we need 773 logs. That's a lot of logs. That is a lot of logs. Well, my friends, there is only one way to get that many logs, and it's just cut down an awful lot of trees. I'm actually going to stretch that out slightly. Let me stretch this. Can. I'm not sure what it's going to do to this, though. Okay. How's that look? Sure. Doesn't look terrible, does it? What I might do, though, is arch this back wall to match the other side. Yeah, I think so. Grand. Do we want to move any of the manor buildings within this? Do we want to rotate them at all? Move them off to the side? I don't think so. I'm quite happy with how that is. Have I... Oh dear. Oh no! What have I done? It's okay. It's okay. Did I spin this? Was it always that way? I think it was always that way. Right. Well, it's going to look absolutely stupendously good. But for now, there's naught we can do about it. So let us close that. Let us save the game, for goodness sake. And let's move to considering the plank, or rather the log shortage. Good, it's still there. Right, 773 is the number. We have 370. So I'm going to go over to the plank boy and say, you've got enough planks. No, not 15,000. 15 1,500 is enough. How many do we actually need for the project? Yeah, 1,200, yes, 1,300. So that's fine. So we can stop using those. And we've got a lot of free workers. Now, everyone remember what this forest looks like, because it's going to go away, I'm afraid, for the time being. We are rather eating into this here as well, aren't we? Let's just make sure we are working on foresting this area. Yeah. Put that there. Okay. And let's just go ham. Oh, actually, is storage the issue? Can we even store that many logs? Oh my goodness, do we have to build more of these? It just takes up space in here, though. I mean, we should just be able to cut down the trees and they'll just lie where they are, aren't they? And that does count towards our total. Okay. Let's assign some livestock to these here buildings. And then we're just going to assign a redonkulous number of people to work them. And decimate the forest. Huzzah! That is the plan. My evil plan. Okay. I am terrified for the effect this will have. What I'm actually going to do, these are set to much larger areas at the moment. I'm going to set them to smaller areas temporarily, so they can more efficiently replace the trees that are being chopped down. And then we will expand them again at a later date. Okay. Goodbye, trees. Thank you for your service. Let's harvest some trees and see if we can't get the materials we need to build ourselves our first Roman city. Doodle pips. Well, friends, we are very nearly there with this timber. You can see we've got 745 and counting. And to do it, all I had to do was cover the entire map in logging camps. That's right, we extended the network of supply chain over here. I then had to build an entire set of work camps over here, which we are currently in the process of filling. I had to build all the way across this side here, just because we didn't have the storage space. It seemed to be that once we'd filled up the storage in these here, they just weren't willing to cut down that many more trees that were just lying around. So I had to move the workforce over into new camps over here. And the way I'm seeing it is these, to me, are essentially work camps ready for the construction of the manor. And I think we're just about there. So 782 timber. I think it's time we commit. So we'll go into the manor. Open castle planner. Commit. Oh, it's a bit of lag. Okay, right. I think we need extra people working on construction. So, I mean, we've just used a lot of that timber. We're going to leave some available to continue chopping trees down. But what we are going to do is go ahead and free up as many of these logging camp workers as we possibly can, because they can then go and help with construction. I've also assigned quite a few families to go and work at stables to be ox guides. My hope being that they will allow much smoother transportation of materials to the build site. I'll have to upgrade those later, especially where the manor is concerned. So hopefully we'll see streams of logs flowing down the streets. There'll be just constant loggage all the way to the center of the castle build. As you can see here, look at that. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. All the oxen heading straight down the road here. I'm sure we're soon to have even more oxen coming down the roads here as they start to pick up on what's needed. But look at that. It's practically a constant supply. So many logs. Yes, right. Well, I think it's time to sit back and watch the manor construction take place. Now, I'm a bit scared of raids, so we have to keep an eye out for that, because cinematic mode does tend to mean you miss stuff. But I think we'll just sit back and see if we can't get a little time lapse of our gorgeous Roman settlement coming together. Where's going to be a good spot? Up here, perhaps, or maybe looking up this way? How about this? I think this is a good spot here. Or maybe away from the sun. Is that going to give us a better view? Sure. We'll go... Maybe we'll just go like that. I can't make my mind up. Right. Anyway. Look. Construction is happening. 3% of it. Oh my goodness, look at all the people. Oh my gosh. Look at all the barrels. What's in the barrels, people? You all taking it in turns to put stuff down. Ooh. Oh, is it stone? Rubble stone? Well, you know what? I best leave you to it. Right, let's just zoom out. And let's let this take care of itself then, I guess. And there we have it, folks. Finally, the construction is complete. The Roman city has its walls, and doesn't it look magnificent? The trees look absolutely fantastic. I love the causeways that we've lined. Just love everything about it, really. Now, I'll admit, there's one or two bugs. We did find a bug, and if we zoom out, you'll see what that bug is. Now, you might notice, the towers here are a completely normal height. Oh, good, yes. Well, we need towers to be normal height because, you know, they defend us from brigands and bandits, and we want to be able to shoot out of them. And all of these turrets here, they understand terrain mapping. They know they exist on top of the land. However, at some point, approximately here, the towers do sort of forget that they are meant to be above ground, and they start tunneling. And each time they get progressively lower, until they are just a little roof sticking out of the floor. And then eventually they completely disappear. Now they are actually there. They're just completely underground. So the entire top section of our outer Manor Palisade wall is underground, which is really weird. Now, I've tried reloading and the issue persists. It's obviously the villagers think that they are there because they're not walking through the gaps. They are using the gates. So I don't know if it's just a weird visual bug because the game is treating it as if they're above ground. We just can't see them because the terrain mapping's gone a little bit wrong, I presume. That must be what it is. I don't know why the walls have managed it, but the towers haven't. It's a little bit odd. Maybe the game thought, that's too many towers, I'm putting them underground. I mean, here, they just... You know, you can see the roof there, actually, just popping out, and they just reappear above ground. It's not like they're the same level as the other ones, either. That one over there, they look a bit low as well, actually. But on the whole, I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And even in the rain here, and the thunder and lightning, you've got the gorgeous fields of blue and yellow leading on to the kingdom. And look at the row of stone towers in there. And the tower of the manor poking out above the top, and the church as well. It just looks absolutely resplendent. I can imagine sipping my tea upon the walls here, safe in the knowledge that I live in the inner city, the inner Roman city of Typicalia, and I am completely safe from invaders. Well, I think what we ought to do now is have a little walk around the inside of Typicalia and experience it for ourselves. Oh my goodness, isn't it fun to look at it from this distance? It looks great from up here. Tell you what we might just do before we go and do our little walkthrough is delete all of these excess logging camps. They were just here for construction. The construction is now complete, even if some of the towers are MIA. So I don't really want them clogging up the view of our beautiful city. So we'll get rid of all of these. There's plenty enough over in the main agricultural and forestry zones without having a whole bunch over here. So we'll get rid of those, delete that road. Good stuff. And these ones here, I did build a lot of these, didn't I? Good gracious. Good gracious? Good gracious is what I meant to say. Or good gravy. And they ended up good gracious. Good gracious. Should I add that to my repertoire? My little library of words in my head. There's a word for that. That word is eluding me. Okay. Okay. Right. Let's just see if we can speed time up a little bit and get rid of some of this weather. And while we do that, I'm going to admire the city that we have worked so hard to build. It's probably my most uniform looking city, actually. It's very even all the way around. It's got a twin wall. I mean, some of the circular cities looked fantastic, and they were intricate, but they weren't equal in the way that this one is. You know, each portion is even, and the trees make a huge difference, I think, to the overall look of the build. So, really happy with that. Okay. I think we should approach from the direction down here, because then we'll actually be able to probably see what we're walking into. So we'll come around from the edge of these trees, shall we? Let's pop ourselves down here. Nope, I'm wrong side of the trees. It's a spoiler. Good gravy. Let's get back here. Ah, hello, fellow travellers, and welcome. Oh, no. The wrong thing. Hello, fellow traveller. And where are we headed, I say? Oh my goodness, my name is Typical, and this is Typicalia. Typicalias. Look at that. I see walls. Goodness, is that a city gate? Could it be? Well, let's run over and find out, shall we? Wow, this city is massive. The Romans sure know what they're doing, don't they, traveller? Oh, if I was them, I'd be tooting my own horn. That's for sure. But I am just typical, not typicalious. No, the day I walk the streets, I am just a regular boy. Now, don't be alarmed, dear sir. Sometimes I phase through bridges. I am not sure whether my metaphasing has healed yet or not. Nope, well, yes, no. I still metaphase. Don't worry about that. Right, let's go up this hill here. Ooh, some lovely farms over there. Oh, calm down, I'm okay. Right. Let's head up to the entry gate. One of the palisade walls. I mean, even the palisade walls look pretty impressive, don't they, from this level? You can really see how bumpy the terrain here is. And when you're above, it really does lack a bit of perspective. Hello, Siegfried, how are we? Oh, do pardon me, sir. Yeah. Oh, hello. What do we have here? A wonderful little city indeed. Look at the tree concourse. My goodness, look how pretty it is. The lovely autumnal colours coming through. Well, Typicalia does seem a rather wonderful place to live. I mean, if I was all these people, I'd be bowing down on my knees to whoever their ruler was, left, right, and centre, because he must be pretty great to culture such a wonderful civilization with Roman walls, Roman citizens, and a lovely straight road, Roman trees along a lovely straight Roman road. Yes, very exciting indeed. Good day, ma'am, good day. Oh, look at this. Is this the Roman inner wall leading to the inner sanctuary, the inner city? I'm sure it is, but let's explore the outer city a little bit first. So, out of one of these beautiful concourses, we come across here, and oh, look at the wall. So resplendent, lime-plastered, well-maintained, and I must say, very well planned out. Give the man who designed that a medal. And got some lovely apple trees here. I might just pinch one of those. Oh, very good. Ooh, pink lady. Very sweet. Oh, some oxen moving across here. Lovely views out of the settlement. Down to the outer walls down there. I mean, I certainly... Ooh. Sorry, dear friend. Are you Sigmund's brother? I don't know. Sogmund. And I would feel very safe indeed if I dwelled within this fair city. I see your orchards extend out and even more concourses of trees. I mean, look at this corner here. How pretty is that? Looking at the corner wall here, I think putting that on the diagonal was an excellent decision by whoever made that. Wall all the way down there, wall all the way down there. The inner city feels secure, and never before have I been to a city where I've seen so many towers. I think it looks rather splendid, don't you? Right, let's move on through here. Good morning, ma'am. How are we doing? Picking a few apples. Do make sure to give some to your lord. I'm sure he would much appreciate it. Henry, how are we doing? Steady on the ale, my friend. Oh, some sheep. I do love sheep. Hello, my delicious friends. How are we all doing? Are we becoming coats today, or are we becoming sustenance? What did I say? What did I say? Honestly, they're so temperamental. Oh, Martha. Hannah. We're still not talking? No? Okay. Never mind her. Oops, sorry, my friend. Let's keep moving through. And oh, look, an ox. What's your relation to Sigmund, dear friend? You're Larry. Larry the ox. Well, Larry, it was lovely to meet you. I must move on. Good work, ma'am. And hey, look, another concourse of trees. How exciting. I do want to go and see what's going on here. Another beautiful view for us to gaze upon. Honestly, this is such a well-planned city. I mean, if I was watching a video of the city, I would definitely be dropping a like and a comment. Just saying. Okay, ooh, some vegetables. I do like vegetables. What do we have growing here? In view of the church, we have some beetroots, I believe. A staple of the local economy. Oh dear. Oh dear, it would appear we have a violation of the local planning laws. I'm surprised this hasn't been caught up by building control. I'm just about squeezed through here and it's a haunted house! I'm stuck inside. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh no. Right. It would appear we have a supernatural violation of the planning code and authority. We're going to have to report that to someone. Right, let's make our way through here. And these are still the outer population, the outer burgages, very loosely placed. You've got lots of space for growing vegetables and for growing fruits, and hopefully, in the case of attack, all of those lovely resources can be shipped inside of the main city and protected from whomever might be wishing us harm. to survive a long old siege. I guess it's a bit like Foregate, as we said before, in Carrion. Very nice. Well, I think we should go inside to the inner city, don't you? Let's head on in. Marigold giving me a bit of a look there. Right. Ready, teleporters. Yeah. Ah. The inner city. Now, this is the place for me. Oh, look at the lovely line of trees. I mean, I could stand here and look at trees all day. They're so pretty. To think I just used to cut them down willy-nilly, hey J-Rock, and now I'm here actually planting deliberate rows of trees. You must be very proud of me. Anyway, whoever, I mean, I say me. I'm talking about whomever planned the city. I'm just a visitor. I am not the lord of this place. The lord of this place is worthy of all honor and praise for the settlement he has built. I'm just commenting on how good it looks. Yes, distant relation, distant relation. I feel like we should go and pray. Let's head on in here. Can we go inside the church these days? I can't wait until the churches get a bit bigger. That would look fantastic here, wouldn't it? Hello, everyone. Is it time for morning prayers? Nope, still locked at the moment. I'll come back later. Excuse me. Thank you. Ah! Ooh, okay. Right, a much denser packed population in here, the inner city. Sky rising, level 3 and 4 burgage plots, filling the space nicely. Even down the roads you can see other gatehouses and walls protecting the inner sanctuary that is our home here in Typicalia. And just before you know it, you come around the corner and there's another gorgeous tree-lined avenue with some problematic gates at the top there. We're not going to worry about it too much. And look, it's the Lord's home. What a lovely home, right in the centre of the inner city, protected by his own walls once again. Who went inside? Was that the Lord? Nope, just one of his retainers. Well, I shan't disturb the Lord's privacy, so we won't go inside. I think we'll just come over here. We'll look back on the main castle within the inner city, and we'll say, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this long play. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad you all persuaded me to come back to this particular map and to grow our Roman settlement even further. I really enjoyed placing these trees, and I'm sorry to say if you didn't enjoy me watching placing these trees, I seriously think that this tree placement idea is going to come back in future playthroughs, so do keep an eye out for that. Thank you as always to my members. I hugely appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support you give me. It gives me encouragement to keep on going and making new videos. If you enjoyed the video, guys, and you haven't subscribed yet, please do hit that button. Maybe hit like as well, and see what else I've got on the channel waiting for you. But until then, I'll see you next time, friends. Cheerio!